Before I start, is Dana in? Is Dana?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. The webinar today is on essential counseling skills. Our trainer today is Flora Olenge. Flora is a trainer with many years of experience. And I remember when I was studying for CHRP, she was one of my best trainers. So I wish to welcome all of you. I thought in today's workplace, it's very important for HR professionals to have a feel or to have a refresher training on how to handle the many issues that are happening today at the workplace. Mental issues, a lot of disturbance, a lot of problems. People have issues, and they all end up at the HR desk. Therefore, without much ado, let's have Madam Flora take us through, and let's make this training as participatory as possible. And all of us are trainers. All of us have something they know, they have something to say. Madam Flora, I would suggest that you put your presentation in a slideshow. Thank you, and welcome. Jane Wanjohi, you will be my co-host. And yes, you'll be my co-host. So if
I'm driving somebody... I'm driving though.
All right, thank you. Eunice, you help me with that, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, if
Thank
you find
so
somebody
much.
in the waiting, if you find somebody in the waiting room, add them to the training. Thank you. Flora, welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Feel most welcome to this session, and I apologize for joining late. And before we start, I would like we have a brief introduction. Mostly we say in counseling, what is essential is self-introduction. How do you create that good relationship with your clients so that they can be able to feel free to open up and talk about their issues? So I'll start by myself. My name is Flora Olenge. I'm a mother of 3 teenagers, and I'm a trainer in counseling. And there are other side jobs which I also do. That's a bit about me. And maybe you can also share with us who you are, what you do with yourself, so that as we are interacting, we get to know what exactly are we doing, how do you spend your 24 hours, so that we can be able to move on. So feel most welcome, and anyone can start. Do we know our names? I can start there. Yes. Is that okay with you? Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, Flora, we are getting you.
Thank you.
Can I volunteer?
Yes, please.
To start?
Yes.
So I'm Florence Mwende Kihara, a HR profession. I'm with the Associated Battery Manufacturers. I have a passion for people, and when I saw this particular course, you can never get enough in terms of counseling skills. So I always look forward to such sessions, particularly in coaching and mentorship and counseling, because I'll pick something that I didn't know that I need to use, not only for my career or for what I do in terms of my profession, but even out there, these skills are very essential. So I'm looking forward to running something from Madam Flora. And I've noted I keep on losing you. So if I lose you again along the way, I am so sure I'll still catch up somewhere, but I'm anxious to pick something from you. I am sure you have a wealth of experience in terms of counseling.
Thank you. Karibu next. Chap chap because of time. Haya, wengine wameenda wapi? Vivian.
Madam Flora?
Yes.
Present, Madam, how are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you. My name is Vivian Chelimotanui. I'm mother of 2 grown-ups. I say grown-ups because the last born is 24 years.
Yes.
And I'm a human resource manager in Caro, the Veterinary Science Research Institute. And I've seen people going through a lot, especially workers. They have many issues that also tend to compromise their performance at the workplace. And I thought this is a very good course if I could get it in detail. That's why I'm with you today. Thank you, Madam Flora.
Thank you, Vivian. Yes. Ama niwapiki randomly ndio tuongee. Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Joyce.
Okay, Joyce.
I'm a HR professional, group HR manager for 3 companies. That is Wood Creek School, Premier Motor Spares, and Lifestyle Estates. Good to see you, Flora. You were once my lecturer.
Wow.
That is at the College of Human Resource. That is in counseling. And it was awesome to have you because there's so much that I learned from you. But also for today, I think counseling is something that is very key, more so at this time that there's so much that is happening with us as individuals, which basically affects what we do. Because we find that if someone is not settled at work as a person, it's very hard for them to be productive. So for me, I felt it's good to enhance my skills in counseling. And I think every other day as a HR, you can't fail to talk to people. So I believe this will be a very good thing for me because every day is a learning day. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Remember, we say in counseling also talking alone, it's a healing. So as you talk, you're also getting a healing. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Jane. My name is Jane Wanjohi. I work in not-for-profit. I'm a mother of 2 adults. Today, I'm hoping to enhance my counseling skills and to see what I may have missed out or if there's any new tactics I could use to help in the workplace. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jane.
Morning.
Morning.
My name is Christine Ojunga. I work as an HRO in a non-profit organization in Kisumu. I am also a mother of 2. And I was drawn by this particular training or session because in this world, things change. And I'm sure there's need for new counseling skills. Of course, with the COVID-19, the job losses, the harsh economic times we are in, it is not the business as usual for counseling. So my main aim to be in part of this workshop is to know what are the new skills, what are the new trends that can help us at our workplace and also in our families.
Okay. Thank you, Christine. Yes, next. Anyone who is willing to talk?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Lynn Mugeni. I'm a HR in a money lending institution in Nairobi. Madam Flora, you also were my lecturer. I was doing my higher diploma at the College of Human Resource. And I'm excited to learn more about counseling skills, especially because I handle a lot of Gen Z, and their problems are quite different from maybe what I've been used or exposed to. So I'm really looking forward to see how I can be able to handle employees and also learn from the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much too. Anyone ameguzwa tuongee before we start? Okay. You know, we usually say you don't push your clients so much. So the ones who have shared, thank you so much. The ones who have not shared, maybe a time will come when you also talk about your name and you share with us something so that we can get to know you. So for today, kuna mtu anataka kuongea before I start? Like as much as we are doing introduction, I'm also trying to get some of your expectations as you are sharing. So what I'll just say, we'll continue, then the others will continue doing the introduction. And remember, in counseling, we say it's more about sharing. We want to share about what experiences we have gone through when we are handling the clients. What is this we have maybe experienced, and how did you manage it? Like what someone has said, as you are sharing, you are making it to be a learning to another person. And so here it's more about sharing than just listening from the lecturer. So we want to look at the course objective. What is our objective? We want to understand and apply modified problem-centered approach to counseling. When we talk about, sorry, I have a cold. When we talk about problem-centered, so it's kind of, you want to take it back to your client so that a client can be able to see what is this which can work for them. So it is not us who are going to give the client solution. You work by you putting the client in the center. You let your client to lead so that they can be able to tell you what is this which works for them. Like if you have a personal issue, and I know mostly we know what we're supposed to do, but what happens to us, we are unlikely to take responsibility. We want to run to other people. Maybe you have an issue, then you run to Angela. What do you think I can do regarding this issue? So it's like we want to depend on others, but we want to bring these clients in so that they can be able to work with what can be able to work with them. So they're here to lead. As we are supposed to follow as HRs, as supervisors, when you have that employee who has an issue, just put at the back of your mind, this employee knows what to do. It's only that they are not able to take responsibility. So yours is to guide them so that they can share with us what exactly can be able to work for them. Then we are also going to look at how we can be able to appreciate the importance of knowing the person the counselor is helping. And how are you going to know your client? And that's why I said, let's do self-introduction. So as you talk, it's when I can be able to know you. As you talk, is when I can be able to know what exactly do I need to do with this staff, with this individual, because I want to know who is this person I'm dealing with. So when I was saying that we do self-introduction, it gives us a broad perspective, and from your organizations, then we can be able to relate it. And one thing also, when we are looking at these essential skills in counseling, these skills, let's not just confine them to our work-related issues. Remember, when you have personal issues, they can affect your work performance. When you have work performance issues, they can affect your family issues. We are also going to understand some skills, and some people usually say that counselors read your mind. Yes, how do we read the mind? Even you, how are you going to read your staff's mind? You're going to read your client's mind by you acquiring these skills so that when you are using them, a client maybe will be asking, how did she or he know about this? So it's going to help us so that we can be able to counsel our clients effectively. We try to engage our clients so that a client can sorry. Then the other objective is also to understand some of the common challenges which you, as when I'm talking about as counselors, so I'm talking you as HR managers, HR officers, you as supervisors. What are some of the common challenges you go through when you're trying to assist the staff or you're trying to assist that individuals? When you face them, how do you deal with them? So when I'm talking about what may be the challenges the counselor face, just try to put yourself in that situation. Like, what are some of these challenges which you as an HR face when you're dealing with those employees? And remember, it's normal for every individual to have these challenges. So, then we are also going to, and to know what is burnout. Have you ever maybe had a burnout? And what are the causes of these burnouts? And how are you going to manage this so that you don't get burnout? Because burnouts can make someone even to be mentally sick. So how are we supposed to take care of ourselves as much as we are taking care of the employees or the clients? So we are also going to examine some of the counseling process, like when you're helping that employee, when you're helping that individual, they are talking about their issues. They don't just come to you and you feel like as you talked to Flora one session, it's enough for me. It's a process. It has to be gradual. So we need to take our clients through that process. We are going to understand how we are going to look at it so that we can be able to help these clients effectively. And as we are helping them so that this client or this counselee can be able to find a solution to their own issues. And that is why it is client-centered. The ones who knows better what can work for them. Then we are also going to look at how to lead the counselee to define the problem to be solved. That is the one we have just talked about. We are going to look at some approaches. When I was looking at this, there are so many, but we'll see how we can be able to condense them because of time, because when you're talking about the types of approaches, we need to look at some of the theories. And these theories, they have techniques. And these techniques are the ones we use when you're when the client is talking. There are some things you have to observe. Then you can work with that assumption. Then you can come in with the intervention. So we'll see how we can be able to incorporate that. And when you're dealing with this stuff, usually we talk about resistance. Resistance is like, there are some things which hinder a client from opening up. Like now, I really don't know what hindered you from introducing yourselves. Tunasemanga hiyo at times ni resistance. We say that at times maybe someone is not comfortable, or as much as they are comfortable, they're not very sure what they're supposed to talk about. So how do we help so that we can be able to manage this resistance? That is why I said, we'll do it later as we continue talking. We'll be saying, I'm so and so, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm asking. So that we can be able to manage some of these resistances. We are going to learn on how to deliver directives by giving directives to our clients or the counselees so that they can be able to serve several purposes they have. So I guess this is where we were. This is what we are doing. We are doing the introduction. And this course, we are going to be here for 3 hours. I guess it's 3 hours. So if we started at 8:30, we're supposed to finish at what time? By what time? By what time? 11:30. But in case maybe we have something we can finish, we can give us a few minutes so that we conclude, but not more than 30 minutes. So let's see how the session goes. So here we are going to conduct it through presentations. We are going to discuss. We are going to have some exercises, so please be aware of participating. And if you're going to wait Flora to talk alone, by the way, you'll be so bored. But if you're going to engage and you're going to talk, it's going to be very healthy and it's going to be very lively. Any question up to there before we start? Any question? Or do I continue? You know why I like you talking, so that nisiongeleshe pengine neti ilienda kitambo.
Continue.
Continue. Continue.
Thank you, thank you. Nakahoma kidogo. So what is counseling? From your own understanding, here, there's no right or wrong answer. What is counseling? Tutaenda mbio mbio. What is counseling? Yes? What is counseling? And always we say, don't doubt yourself. Just say what you know, and that is what you know. And we move on. What's counseling?
Can I try?
Yes, please.
From my own understanding, counseling is where being able to listen with empathy and understand the other person and putting yourself in their shoes, and then guiding them, not giving solutions, but you guide. But the critical in counseling is being able to listen, and particularly with empathy.
Thank you so much. Anyone to add to what she said? What is counseling? Atatuambia it's empathy, it is the shoes, atatuambia your shoes ni nini. Yes, someone is talking? Winnie.
Yes, counseling to me is offering support, could be support by talking to someone through their own personal issues that could be physical or psychological in nature. Yeah, just there on emotional issues. It could be emotional, just personal issues that could be emotional, psychological, or any other issue they may have. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Winnie. Anyone to add to that? Last one. And remember, I said don't doubt yourself. And when we doubt ourselves, this is what makes us to have issues. Always you're telling yourself, is it right? What will people say? Where we say ma? When they can be able to pick what can work for them. Zingine wakuachia hapo. Yes. Another attempt?
Counseling is an intervention. Is an intervention done when there's a person who is unable to help themselves?
When there's a person?
It's an intervention. It is an intervention that is done when a person is in a situation where they are unable to understand or, understand or able to, know what is going on with themselves.
Thank you so much, Winnie. Thank you.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia, sorry, Virginia. Thank you. So let me ask this one again. What is guidance? What is guidance? Try, people. What's guidance? And you have been hearing these terms. So what is guidance?
In my opinion, guidance is after having listened to somebody, you're able to walk the journey with that person to help them achieve what they want to achieve. So you guide them, but you don't give the solutions. So you just, it's like holding their hand and walking with them, but guiding them in such a way that they give their own solutions. They come up with the solutions themselves.
Okay. Yes, thank you for the trial. So when you're guiding them and you're holding their hand and you're not coming up with solution, so is that guidance or that is counseling? Thank you. Someone
I can advise. I can give them my advice or something that can help them come up with a solution for the problem they are going through. But at the end of the day, the decision is for that person. So mine is to advise or give them information that can help them to walk through this problem.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Last one, then we move to something else. Guidance. Last one.
I think guidance also may include sharing your own, maybe something that you know that has worked previously with them that could potentially help them in their situation.
Haya. Thank you. Hapa sasa amujaniambia munanichanganyisha counseling na guidance, eh? Okay, okay.
And
let's see. Yes, someone wants to try?
Yes, I can try. It is the process of helping a person to explore and understand his or her problem so that he or she is able to come up with the best solutions.
That is what?
Guidance.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Tutarudia hapo. Sorry. I wanted to, what is advice giving? Kuna tofauti. So you as HRs, do you counsel, do you guide, do you advise? Kuna tofauti ya hizo ama zote zinaenda zikiandamana? Yes?
I thought the two names are used interchangeably.
Yes. That's what I want you to tell me when you are using them. What is what and what time are you using what? Tunachanganyika, inatuchanganyisha.
Can I try?
Yes.
For me, I would say guidance would be, I would give guidance when there are matters relating to human resources, as in I have an opinion, but counseling is where I'll walk you through, and then we try and see, not only try and see, we come up with a way to, with a map to finding the solution to your problem. So that would be the difference between guidance and counseling. Guidance, I might impose my opinion, but counseling, I might just walk with you.
And I know you've been having staff who have issues. So were you counseling them? Were you guiding them? Were you advising them? What were you doing at that point? Ni gani mumekuwa mkitumia sana? You know, once we understand these terms, itakuwa rahisi tukienda mbele. So which ones have you been using? Have you been counseling? Have you been guiding? Have you been advising?
Advising a lot.
You've been advising. So what is this advice giving?
Advising is considering different factors, of course, depending on the issue, considering different factors and proposing a solution to the person.
Like you are telling them, go and do this, and this is, I think, what can work for you. Flora, wacha kufanyanga hivo, do ABCD. Thank you so much. And like now, most of you, when I'm asking what is counseling, what is guidance, when you're talking about guidance, most of them, I'll put them in counseling. Because when we talk about counseling, this is whereby you are taking your client through a process. We're going to look at it. This is where you want to listen to the client's issues. This is where you, like one of us say that you try to empathize, you wear the client's shoe, you try to support them, you come in with that intervention. You go to the feelings of the clients. You want to listen to them. They talk about facts. So here it's the client who leads. Yours is to follow. It's the client who knows it well. So yours is try to imagine yourself and you put yourself in the client's shoe. But when we talk about guidance here, you as a supervisor, you as an HR, you as a counselor, you are an expert. You want to show them, you want to direct because you know it all, okay? And when we are using guidance, not necessarily that there's an issue, but you're trying to inform your clients, like maybe if there's that performance, appraisals, Maybe you want to make them to achieve their targets. You tell them, you show them, you direct them, because you are an expert on how they're going to achieve those goals. So here, the counselor is the expert. But in counseling, the client is the expert. When we talk about advice giving is like you are telling your clients that this is what I want you go and do. So it is like, you know it, you are telling me, Flora, go and do A, B, C, D, and this one is going to sort out your issues. And we usually say that in counseling, we mostly, we don't like advising our clients because it's like you are telling them what they need to go and do. Maybe that is what worked for you, but it might not work for someone else. So you find here when you're advising and the client succeeds, they'll be able to praise you, they'll be able to talk positively about you. But if you advise and they go to put it into practice and it backfires, they'll talk negatively about you. They'll spread everything that you're the one who told them. And that is why we say that as you're dealing with the client, there are so many. You cannot be able to advise all of them. Let every client take that responsibility so that they can be able to pick what can work for them. What works for me might not work for you, okay? So let's go to the definition of counseling as this was just a brainstorming. Like we have here a very long definition, which I want us to look at briefly. So, and I go very fast on it. What is this counseling? Like you as an HR, you who is dealing with the employees, you need to know how you're supposed to handle your clients. You need to know when are you counseling, when are you guiding, and when are you supposed to advise. In counseling, we say it's a helping process. That is why I said when we are looking at the objective, counseling is not just a one touch, but we have what we call a counseling crisis. When someone is in a crisis, you can be able to take your client through that. Then later they can come for a session. But we say under counseling, it's a process. It's gradual. It has stages. We are going to look at it later. Like when a person comes, they have to explore. Someone talked about counseling is about exploration. You go deeper, you help your client to go deeper and talk about their issues. So we'll go into that later. And as you're taking through your client through a counseling process, there has to be that safety. Safety has to be engendered. Safety has to be assured. Like when I come to your office and I have a challenge or I have an issue and I want to talk about it, how safe am I? How safe will my information be? How confident am I that the information I'm going to share with you is going to remain confidential? There are some, when you talk about an issue or you share, as I step out, now you'll be talking about me. Let me tell you, if what you do that to one client and it goes round, you will never, ever see an employee coming to you for any assistance. Not that they don't have issues, they have them, but they are not sure whether you are a person they can trust you with their information. So there has to be that safety. The environment has to be safe, whereby a person is talking and it's like, no one is listening. No one can hear what I'm talking about, so that a person can freely open up and talk about their issues. And then we say counseling, it has to be a special kind of relationship. By the way, have you been into a relationship? Don't tell me which relationship, but I'm just asking, have you been into a relationship or are you in a relationship? It doesn't matter which relationship, but are you in the end of the relationships? Or have you been into a relationship?
For me, yes, I have been and I am. I'm still in other relationships, yes.
Yes. Na wengine? Hey people, we are 33. Wengine wako happy? Have you been into a relationship or are you in a relationship?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Okay. What made you to be into that relationship? Nini kikupeleka huko kachingisha na miguu yako into that relationship? I've said don't share with me which relationship, just let it be general. Nin, what made you to be into that relationship?
Our values zinaingiana.
Nini zinaingiana?
Our values. We have the same.
Oh,
We
the
share the
values?
same
Which
values.
values? Which values were these?
Integrity, you know, freedom of expression, you know, authenticity, being authentic. Yeah. Yeah.
Na wengine mlijipata huko kwa aje? And how did you know that person had integrity? Someone is sharing?
Companionship.
Companionship. How did you know that that is the person who was to be your companion? Na ukuchukua Flora ukachukua yeye. I want to know those traits. What is this which attracted you to that relationship? Am I talking?
For me, it is one. Some of the relationship I'm into is due to a natural connection, like my family, professional connection. And then, you know, you find yourself, you have the same values with somebody and you automatically get into liking each other. So you have values that connect, and sometimes it's an instinct even of the heart, and you connect. And then of course, so there is the family relationships that I have by virtue of being born together, or relationship by virtue of marriages, but there is others that are mean because of we have the same values, we have the same, we have an understanding that sometimes you can't even explain. Other relationships is out of my faith. So there are various reasons why I'm in certain relationships. My faith also connects with other people.
Okay.
And then professionally.
But professionally, you can have a team, but there are some you don't relate well, na kuna wengine you relate well. True or
Yes.
false? So what is this which makes you to relate with the others well? Ni nini ulipenda kwa huyo?
The values, we share certain values, certain traits.
Ndio hizo nataka kujua, which are those values, which are those traits? At least tuziongelele. We talk about it.
For me, I'm a very
easily understand each other.
Angela, you're talking? Who is talking? Angela?
It was me, Christine.
Oh, Christine.
I'm saying what made me have that relationship, we easily understood each other.
Ni nini ulipenda ndio muka understand? I don't know whether you're getting what I want you to talk about. How come this is the person whom you started understanding? Ni nini ulipenda kwake? Okay. Keep on thinking about. Yes. Yes.
I think for me, I'd say when we started talking, we started just conversing on a normal day, I actually realized I actually like these people, you know, and it became easy for us to actually have the relationship, whether it was friendship or by conversing and getting to understand them in a deeper way. How they behave, how they talk, who they are, and just seeing them in different situations. Yeah.
Okay. And have you been into a relationship and you came out of it? What is this which made you to come out of that relationship?
Yes, very fast.
What is this which made you to come out of that relationship?
The way they handle people, the comments they make behind people's backs, the way they talk about certain things that were important to me, you know, the way others even talk about even God, the way people talk about God, you know, you understand this person does not value God, and then you realize okay to arm's length for now. Yeah.
Kama wewe umeokoka na unasikia mtu anaongea mbaya, you change the route.
I'll still keep them, but at arm's length. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have you been into a relationship na mnakosana mpaka you don't want to see that person again? Which is very normal. Yes. Yes.
Yes, Madam Flora, that is very normal. Because of matters of the heart, maybe this person hurt you so much that hata ikifika, let's say for example, in a family setup, in a family context, mpaka hata ikifika jua inaanza kuanguka huko chini, it's coming to night, una imagine, sasa naenda kuona huyu mtu kwa hii nyumba.
Yes. Yes, it's true. It's true. Thank you. And I know, Sheila, you want to say something? Huyu anaitwa Hassan. Ni Hassan? Okay.
No.
Okay. When we talk about, we have to have that special kind of relationship. Yes, at times we enter into relationships because you like this person, they are humble, they are polite, they are kind. And you might come also out of this relationship, especially if they betray you, they're talking negatively about you, they are not caring about your feelings. You come out of that relationship. And in counseling, now when it comes to counseling, we say that you need to have that special kind of relationships with your client. And how do we create this kind of special relationship with our clients? We have one psychologist who was called Kyle Rogers, who said that for us to be able to help our clients, we need to have that special kind of relationship. And how do we come up with this special kind of relationships with our clients? Kindly mute.
Brian! Taro!
I'm looking at where to mute. Kindly mute. Kuna nani aliambiwa admin? Please mute her. So, Kyle Rogers says that if you have to help a client, you need to have this special kind of relationship. And he talked about we need to have 3 core conditions. So whether you are at your family level, whether you are at the social level, whether you are at the workplace level, you need to acquire these core conditions and you possess them so that you can be able to have that good relationship with your employees wherever you are. One of the core conditions is empathy. Like what someone said, what this empathy? Empathy is whereby you try to feel as if you are the one in that situation. So when a client or that employee comes and they're talking about their issues, you try to put yourself in, you enter into their world. You try to put yourself into their shoe. And that means as a client is talking, by the way, yesterday I had a client, and in that session, we have been trying to plan to have a session, but kazi imekuwa mingi. But yesterday he managed and we met. Do you know, when he started talking, he talked like for 30 minutes. And he reached somewhere, he started crying. How you enter into a relationship, you are so committed, you are like, you have gotten a partner, and only to come to learn, this is a person who has gotten married, this is a person who has even divorced, this is a person who has other several relationships. And as he was talking, I was trying to imagine where this young man was coming from. You enter into their world. You work with that client. You try to imagine what he was going through or what he's going through, being into that relationship, trying to support this spouse, and only to learn that she was not a genuine spouse. So when someone is narrating that, you enter into their world, you work with them, you feel as if you are the one going through that experience. So when that employee comes with whichever issue, just to imagine you are the one in that issue. You feel with your client, but don't feel for your client. So that empathy, you feel with your client, you work with your client, you be at the same wavelength, you try to imagine what your client is going through. So if someone knows that you're really trying to work with them, then they can be able to have that good relationship with you. The other core condition which we need to possess is being genuine. When we talk about being genuine, this is where we say that the outer you and the inner you matches. Like as we are doing introduction, I know there's some of you who say that they have met me in other forums and I've taken them through this counseling, and here they are, again, they have met me here. Being genuine. How did you feel? Like you have met me here. I don't know how I managed you during that time we met. How was I then? And what are you expecting here? Do you think things are going to be good? A few of us we have met. Be very genuine. Be genuine. The ones whom we have met in different forums. And again, you have met me and you're like, God, tena ni hiki kimama nimepata hapa. But when I ask you, say, well, I'm so happy to have met you here again. But at the back of your mind, you're telling yourself, guy, I wish singempata hapa. Do you know we are some of us, we talk like that. I'm not saying you are the ones. But you say, even when you are with your bosses at the workplaces and you are working with them, you are like, Aki, who you are not retiring? When is he going to get a transfer? But when he comes, he's asking you, how is work? You say, we like the way you are managing us. Your leadership style is very interesting. So it means you're not genuine, that the inner you and the outer you matches. If you're happy, you're happy. If you're not happy, you're not happy. So you don't pretend, you don't use the facades, you don't wear the masks. So when you do that to your staff, then they'll be able to know, what? Ukisikia Vivian amesema hivyo, huyo she's serious, she means it. So they know you. So that is when you are becoming genuine. That is a condition you need to possess, which is going to make you to have a good relationship with your staff. Then the other core condition is about unconditional positive regard. When you talk about unconditional positive regard, this is where you accept that employee the way he or she is without you laying any condition. You look at their weaknesses, you look at their strengths, you accept them the way they are. No matter how offensive their behaviors are, they are non-performers, they are latecomers, they are people who are causing conflict in that organization, but you accept them when they have come to you the way they are, so that you can be able to give them that room for you to be able to listen to them. If you possess those three core conditions, that is whereby you are accepting them the way they are unconditionally, that is unconditional positive regard. You're also becoming genuine, you be the real you, and then you are also using that empathy. You're going to have that special kind of relationship with your clients. Then, before I move there, I wanted to but there are notes maybe which will be given by the organization in details, but I'm not looking at those notes for now. Then for this relationship again to be special, we need also to have what we call enhancement variables. It's like when you're cooking or frying food, kuna those core things which you need. Kitunguu, nyanya, na mafuta. Those are for me, that's what I feel it's called. But kuna hizi spices we like adding. So those are the ones I'm calling enhancement variables. These enhancement variables are going to add to these core conditions, and they're going to make this relationship to be special. One of them is trustworthiness. Trustworthiness, this is whereby a client needs to have confidence in you. A client needs to feel like the information is going to be kept safe. They're going to trust you with their information, so that when they are talking about the issue of confidentiality, you're not going to talk about these issues to anyone else. Unless they have given you that consent, then you can be able to. So that trust is very key. Like the one I told you, if the staff learns that you are one person when they come to you, they share their issues, then later they come to hear it from the other colleagues, they'll never come to you because there's no trust. So if you ensure there's trust, then the employees will be able to feel free to come to you, relate with you well, and they open up about their issues. The other enhancement variable which can make this relationship to be special is the attractiveness. When we talk about attractiveness, are you a person who is approachable? Are you a person who is friendly? Are you a person who is kind and humble? That if I want to come and meet you, Hassan, I'm not going to rehearse like I'm going to start, good morning, Hassan. No, stanza evil. Like, excuse me, Hassan. I wanted some, and you struggle, you start rehearsing. So if people struggle to come and approach you or to come and meet you, then you tell yourself you are not approachable. You're not a person who is friendly. So people have issues, but they don't know how to approach you. You are at a roof. You are a person who is not down here, that a person can freely walk in and they share their issues. So we need to be attractive. The other enhancement variable is expertness. How competent are you? How experienced are you? What qualifications do you have in your area? I know there are some who are HR, but nowadays, at least most of you HRs, you have enhanced your skills. There are some who have never even gone to a class of HR, and they are HR officers or they are HR managers. And there are some who are here, they want to counsel their clients. They have never even gone for a one-day session of counseling, that you know that you need to listen to your client. You need to let them lead you. You are telling yourself this client is an expert. It's only that they are stuck. But what is your experience? And how many have you been able to assist? How, like, what have you maybe managed to do which can make you to be a professional in that area? So when someone comes to learn that you are competent in your area, they'll have that trust. Like now, if they know you have the HR skills and you have the counseling skills, at least now you marry the two and you can be able to assist that employee. So if you have those three core conditions and you have those three enhancement variables, it's going to make this relationship to be special. It's going to be very, very special. So I urge you from today, please have those core conditions, know how to empathize with your clients. And we usually say, please don't sympathize. Is there a difference between empathy and sympathy? Kuna tofauti? Is there a difference? Kuna tofauti among the two? Hello. Empathy and sympathy. Like now, are you sympathizing with me or you're empathizing with me as I'm talking to myself and you're not responding?
Madam Flora?
Yes.
Let me try. I think empathy is, as you have just said, among the conditions for a counselor, is feeling with that client, feeling with your client. But sympathy is the other way. Sympathy means you're already so drowned in the client's issue that now you are pitying this person. You're feeling it, it's like it is you now, you're so deep in it also. You can even, if the client is crying, you could even be crying in sympathy as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I try?
Yes.
Empathy is putting yourself in their shoes, but sympathy is feeling sorry for them.
Yes. Good. Yes. And when you start feeling for, ni kama I have an issue, or you're going to Indian Ocean, badala uweka mguu moja kwa ocean na ingine on the land, unaweka miguu yote kwa ocean. So when those waves come, zinakuchukua hata wewe. So you are there, you get lost in the client's issues. You get emotionally entangled with the client's issues. You start now feeling for them. Like what someone is saying, you start even becoming so emotional. So when someone comes, we'll not be able to know who is a client, who is a counselor. So you need to distance yourself and you start empathizing. If you start feeling sympathy, you change the gear. You go to empathy, you feel with them. Mguu moja iko kwa shida ya client na moja umeweka nje, because they have, those are the client's issues, they are not your issues. Thank you so much. So again, when we are dealing with this counseling, we say we are supposed to be helping clients so that they can be able to get a greater access to their personal resources. Remember, as I said, we want to make the clients to be client-centered. As much as we come with our challenges, with our issues, at times we have solutions to these challenges, but we have not tapped some of these resources to sort out these issues. That is why we say that we want to help these clients. As we explore with them, they go deeper, they learn these issues, then they can find an ability, a potential, a resource, that which is going to help them to respond to those challenges in their lives. Kuna sengine, you have a talent and you're not sure you have it. Kuna sengine, you know what you want to do, but you don't know what to do. So as we take you through this process, it's going to help you so that you tap some resources within you, some solutions within you, which you are not aware, which are going to help you to sort out your issues, so that we can be able to respond to these challenges. By the way, do clients have challenges? Do they have issues or they have problems? Kwanza tuache clients. Sisi tuko hapa. What do we have? Challenges, issues, or problems? What do you have? Na kama hamuna, mnahitaji counseling, eh? So what do you have?
Mwalimu, you can have all.
You can all the above.
You can have all the above, depending with how widespread you are and how exposed you are. You can have all. You can have all.
Okay. Yes, someone was talking.
Yes, I was saying it's a little of all three.
So when you,
it depends on the situation.
Okay.
You could have a challenge, you could have a problem, you could have an issue.
When someone comes and tells,
as HRs, I believe we don't like saying their problems or challenges. We like to call them issues.
Yeah. When someone comes and tells you, you know, I have a challenge. And another one comes and tells you, you know, I have a problem. Ni nani utaona kuna shida nyingi kushinda zingine? Is it the one who has an issue or the one who has a problem?
The one with the problem.
And it's just a term. And we say, whatever we are going through, they're just challenges, which needs us to respond to them. They're just issues. But when we talk about a problem, it looks like so big. All of us, we have them. But when we say, I have some challenges, I can an issue, it sounds better. So that is why we say whether there are problems, issues, or challenges, but we want to help these clients so that they can be able to find a solution to these issues. And in this counseling, we use specific skills. We are going to look at them. We are going to look at a few skills which we need to use when we are helping our clients. By the way, they are very minimal skills, but they are very, how do I say, they have an impact when you are using them. And these techniques, as I said, we are supposed to get them from theories, and we might not go through the theories because of time, but we'll see how we can borrow these techniques. Like now, when we are talking about the core conditions in some of the theories, these are techniques. If I can try, I can say, Vivian, I can imagine what you're going through. Flora yani amefika dunia yangu. You know, that is a technique in itself. And these ones, they are going to help the people, the clients, to be more competent, to be more contented, and to be more creative with the issues they are going through. And in counseling, we only deal with normal individuals. By the way, as you are here, tuko wangapi kwa hii group? We are around 35. Are we normal? As we are here, are we normal? When I'm asking, are we normal, you own it up. Ujiassess we mwenyewe, ujiangalie, uniambie, Flora, I think mi niko normal. I think I'm not normal. Are we normal? I'm talking about, are we normal? I'm also inclusive. Are we normal?
Yeah, yes, we are.
Definitely, we are normal.
No, you own it up. Naona umeandika HRM. Are you normal, HRM? I don't know your name. HRM. Are you normal?
Yeah, I'm very normal. That's why I'm here.
You're very normal, eh? Okay.
That's why I'm here.
What about the others? Kuna wengine wamejoin after 8:30 and you are supposed to join at what time?
I'm normal.
You're normal?
Yes, I am.
What time were you, Sakaro? What time did you join class?
At around 8:40.
And what time were you supposed to join class?
It's 30.
So normal people are supposed to join at what time? That is an aligned note.
That's it. Yeah.
What I want to say, all of us, we are abnormal in one sense or the other. It's only that degree of abnormality which differs. That's why when you're walking in the street, unanigonga aje unatembeaje kama wazimu? Kwani huoni barabara? Or where you doing things like a person who is not normal? Where you putting that phone there? Where you placed it, it's a wrong place. So you find that all of us, we are abnormal. It's only the degree which differs. And how will you know that a person is normal, or this employee is normal and this other one is abnormal? Is through the behavior, how they are communicating, how they are sharing, how they are relating. So are those individuals who are relating in a normal way, this smile, even if they are abnormal, but it's not exaggerated, those are the people we are dealing with. And these people we are dealing with, they have to be normal, who are only facing domestic issues, work-oriented issues, or social life issues. Let me just get from you, which are some of the domestic issues the staff might be going through? Domestic issues. I'm just doing it briefly because of time. Yes.
Financial
Domestic
issues.
issues.
Can I try?
Yes.
Financial issues.
Financial. When you have, just a minute, when you have or when you don't have? When
you don't have.
And when you have?
When you have, also you have issues.
You have issues. Uta concentrate sahi kama mungekuwa na pesa nyingi mungekuwa kwa hii class. So you are just there, muko katikati. I don't know where you fall. Which are some of these domestic issues?
Marital issues.
Marital issues.
Abuse.
Yes.
Abuse.
Abuse. Yeah, like when HRM is saying marital issues, hizi ni mingi sana. Atatuambia ni gani? Which one are these marital? Which are these marital issues?
Divorce.
Divorce. Ukiachwa ni mbaya. By the way,
yes, it's an issue.
It's an issue.
Ukiachwa ni mbaya, ukiwa na yeye pia inaweza kuwa uko na shida pia.
Yote ni shida, eh? Yes,
yote ni shida.
Yes, domestic issues.
What? Sicknesses?
What issues?
Sorry?
Sicknesses.
Which sicknesses? Is it about?
Let's say terminal patients in the home.
Yes. Domestic issues. Just imagine domestic issues. Sisi hatuna domestic issues, lakini wale staff wako nazo wanakuanga kama gani?
Madam, hata wewe uko na domestic issues. Hakuna binadamu ambaye hana domestic issues.
Okay, sasa ni because now they are not coming, nikafikiria sisi hatuna. Okay, kama gani? Thank you.
Okay, Florence. For me, I can suggest for those of us who are having teenagers in the house.
Yes.
We could be having some issues with our teenagers in the house.
Kabisa. Yes. Yani you people hamuna issues. Hakuna issues za domestic. Hata house helps. Ni issue. Like the other day, nimeletewa mjukuu. I went to get to look for a house help. Amefanya only 2 weeks. Nikiamuka asubuhi nataka kwenda kazi na yeye. Akumba aliamuka mapema akaenda, nikauliza, God, what is this? Now you can't even go to work. You have to start again looking for a house help at my age. Okay, let me get the work-related issues. I know there are so many domestic issues, but we're just picking a few examples. Work-related issues. Work-related, hizo najua mtazichomoa haraka haraka.
Biasness. Biasness.
Biasness.
Union supervisor.
Sorry?
Biasness between employee and supervisor. However you perform, that supervisor cannot see it. However, he favors others.
Thank you. Yes.
Employee turnovers.
The turnovers.
Discrimination in the place of employment.
Discrimination.
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment. Who are being harassed?
Both can be
Yes.
harassed.
Both.
Hata men wanakuwa harassed.
So much. You are a,
ladies are saying,
you are a lady. You walk into my office in a quarter miniskirt. What do you think you are doing to me? You are sexual harassing me.
Ladies, I hope ladies in the house, are you hearing that?
Yes.
Yes, it is there, and it's an issue, and you don't know whom to report to. Some fear if they go to talk about it, kazi yao itaisha. Okay. So unakufa na hiyo tu. You are just there with that issue. Yes. Work-related issues.
Unfair promotions.
Unfair promotions.
Performance.
Flora.
Yes.
A looming redundancy.
Make me understand that.
Performance.
Well, make you understand.
Maybe there you can tell from the figures the company is doing so badly. And staff can even see there could be a redundancy or a retrenchment.
So unaanza kuwa na anxieties. You don't know whether you're going to survive. Eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Organization performance.
Organization performance. They are not performing, or they are.
Yeah, some employees are not performing according to the company's expectation.
Yes.
Hazards at the place of work.
Sorry?
When you talk about hazards at the place of work.
Yes. I know there's
poor communication.
Poor communication. Kwanza hiyo ndio inakuanga mbaya sana when you don't have that good way of sharing information. I know there are so many work-related issues. So these are some of
life-threatening situations. Sorry. Life-threatening situations after making disciplinary decisions.
Zinakuanga?
Ziko.
Yes, ziko.
Yes, mpaka ujui whom to talk to. You don't know maybe who is there for you. Kwanza nyiwe hejari mko na mashida mingi, eh? I guess there's so many issues. There's so many issues.
Very true.
So
it's true.
These are the issues we deal with. Those people are normal, who are facing these challenges, and we need to assist them so that they can be able to be psychologically fit. And this counseling, it's about helping people to grow in emotional fitness and health. Like if you have these challenges and you're going to talk about them, you are going to vent out. By the way, it's going to be a healing. It's like when you have a wound and it has pus, it is really aching. When you as an individual, you press yourself, you press that wound, it's very painful. But if you bring it to Flora to press it, so many party wound me ni kufinya na unalia unanishika, please don't talk, oh, don't press me, but nisha kufinya. So in that process, utasema it was painful, but now I'm feeling relieved. The same way when clients have issues, they come to you, they talk about it, they get a relief. That is emotional venting out. When they vent out, they are going to be emotionally fit and they are going to be healthy. That is just what counseling is. So when you're going to look at some of the presentation I've given, so we might not go through everything, but let's look at, that is what counseling is. So when I was asking what is counseling, what you are saying, I found that all of you, most of you, you are talking about counseling other than guidance. So let's see what counseling is not. So if you are an HR and you want to help that staff, if you are doing this, then that is not counseling. Counseling is not a conversation whereby you sit with that employee, you exchange the opinion. Mimi naona hivi. Mimi ninakuwa hii shida. And I think this is counseling is not a conversation. Counseling is not an interrogation. Who interrogates, by the way? Who is supposed to interrogate?
Police.
Yeah.
Police.
Interrogating, you want to know this, you want to, counseling is not an interrogation. Counseling is not a confession that you need to confess. Where do we confess? Kama umekuwa father, umekuwa pastor, umekuwa nini, then tuambie, I'm a padri, then umebadilisha yourself kukua in the church, then let's know. So counseling is not a confession whereby you need to confess. You need to talk about all that you have gone through. Counseling is not advice giving. So advice giving is whereby you tell them what they need to go and do. If they succeed, they will praise you. If they don't, they will really talk negatively about it. It's not a discussion. Kama unataka discussion, kuja kwa hii class, the way we are discussing, we are giving out our ideas. Counseling is not influencing attitudes and beliefs of the client. When you get a client in your organization, let's say this employee, I'm taking it as an example because we have issues of alcoholism. Do you have issues of drugs and alcoholism in your organization? Then this person is ever coming late, is not meeting the target, is always absent, ako na hangovers, and then ukimkuta unamwambia, woi, mi, Flora ningekwambia, ukiokoka, utakuwa na hizi mashida, kuandikiwa warning letters. Na unajua vile hii economy imekuwa, you might lose your job. Just get saved. Wewe umeokoka ni wewe. So don't influence the others to do the things your way. Remember, these clients, they have their own beliefs, they have their own values. Can you respect them? And you work with them. As I'm coming as a drunkard, can you be able to work with me that way without you imposing your own values to me? It's not an investigation. You want to find out some solutions. Among the others, I'm just giving a few examples that if you're doing that, then tell yourself, whatever you are doing, you're not really doing counseling. Which are the major issues to be addressed in counseling, like the employees can bring to you or present to you? By the way, which are some of the issues? Like we have talked about, these are the challenges, but which are the major issues to be addressed? And because of time, maybe we'll be able to look at the personal growth is an issue. There's some clients who have issues, who have personal issues. They are not aware about themselves, so they need to be assisted. We have staff, maybe we need to prepare them on retirement. And usually, I like saying you as HR, please don't wait for people to be around 55 or to be remaining with 2 years so that you can be able to train them about retirement. Anyone who joins service, can they be told that the retirement, they can retire at any time? They can, maybe their job can come to an end. What are they doing? Are they prepared? Are they ready for that? So those are some of the issues you can answer or they can be addressed. The issue of stress management, the issue of team building, the issue of work and life balance. You know, there's some people who are workaholics. Yani yeye aende ofisini na laptop, akae akuje late, akiingia kwa nyumba ni laptop, and this is a person who has a family. He doesn't know that he has a family, he has come home now, he's a husband, he's a father, hizo amesahau, kazi yake tu ni kufikiria work. You can also talk about financial challenges like the ones we talked about, and this way you need to help your clients so that they start knowing on how to plan on their personal finances. So that personal financial planning is very critical so that people don't wait to earn so much so that they can start planning. They plan with what they have. Family issues, mental illnesses issues, by the way, like this one. And as I was saying, there's research which has been done, and they are saying that wherever you are four, one of you has a mental illness. So ukitoka hapa after this training, mkiwa kwa group mko waine, jiulizange tu among us, nani ako na kichwa kameruka kidogo. So all of us, why is it all of us we are abnormal? But you find that this issue of mental illness, it is so rampant that we need always to address this. And even the family issues. And people don't like talking about it. So when we go to work, tumevaa suti, tumefunika hizo mashida inside here, but we are not having a conducive environment whereby you can let people talk about them. People are ailing, they are suffering, they cannot be able to talk about issues of HIV and AIDS, issues of emotion management, issues of work conflict, and their conflicts. So what are some of the strategies you use when you are helping your clients? Or are you the one who is using the avoidance? Yani, una assume, ni kama hakuna shida. You know, there's that you avoid, like things are okay, you are burying your head and issues are there. People have gone through loss and grief. And these issues, not that you must go through them so that you know how to handle them, but we are saying here, people have issues. And when we talk about loss, loss is not that someone has to die. Anything which you had that attachment, anything which you loved so much, and then it is deprived away from you, that is a loss. When you lose it, something you loved so much and you no longer have it, how can we be able to help these people when they're going through this grief? I know some bosses tell their staff, ati nani amekufa, baba yako anazikwa lini? Next week. Wewe fanya kazi ni Friday, utatoka hapa Thursday. Hii kazi ni mingi sana. But when it happens to him or her, yeye vile tu amepata hiyo information until they finish the burial, utamuona kwa hiyo ofisi. And then you come back, you tell us, oh, you mean what it means when you go through a loss. Don't wait to go through it. That is why we say, try to empathize with your clients. Try to imagine what your client is going through. Try to enter into their world and you feel as if you're the one in that situation. We have trauma. When we talk about trauma, clients have gone through trauma. So you find that they are so traumatized. Clients have issues. And when we talk about trauma, it's not the same as stress. Stress, these are some of those challenges, those demands, whereby you need to respond to them. You can know how to manage this stress by using those defense mechanisms. But when you find the issue of trauma, trauma is so overwhelming. It is something you are not expecting. Maybe as we are talking about this retrenchment, or maybe people are being laid off, you are not expecting that. It just comes all of a sudden. Imagine with this economy and those things, you're being told that now you no longer need your services because of the economy. It is so traumatizing. Or someone has had a loss which was very abrupt. That is a trauma. How do you help these clients? How do you help these staff maybe who have lost their colleague or who have lost some of their colleagues through this retrenchment? They can be taken through debriefing because that was very traumatic. Trauma is so overwhelming. We have clients who use alcohol and drugs, and usually when you have such like employees and you are sacking them, munawatuma wapi? You are making the situation to be worse. You are transferring that problem from the workplace to the community, which is going to be more worse. And we say you as HR, before you write that letter, show cause why a disciplinary action cannot be taken against you. Please try your best. That is why you are human resource managers. That's why we move from personnel management. You know, personally, they don't care about the welfare of the employees, but human resource, you are so much caring about your staff. Try to assist them. Refer these clients to go for a counseling session. You can now even recommend them to go to a rehab center. Let them be assisted. If they are not responding to that, then now you can cover yourself up that you have tried counseling sessions, you have tried by you referring them to a rehab center and they are not responding to it, you can now retrench them or you can sack them. But if you just sack them, you know, you can be sued and you might pay your client a lot. So please try your best before you transfer that problem to another area, maybe to the community. There's that disaster management, which we also need to look at. When do we need to cancel? When do we need to cancel our clients? By the way, when do we need to cancel them? When do we need to cancel them? Yes?
Madam, I think counseling should be a continuous process. We should not wait until problems arise, then we start counseling. That is firefighting.
Yes, thank you. When do you counsel? So when it is continuous, who does this counseling? By the way, in your organizations, do you have counselors? Do you source for counselors? How do you support these employees? How do you support them? Remember, you as HR, you're concerned with the welfare of the staff. You want them to be productive. So when do you counsel them and how do you do it in your organizations? Mnaifanyaje? Ama kila mtu na maisha yake. Wachipange. Yes? Hello? Kwani mumeenda mute?
No, I did not want to dominate the discussion, but what normally I do, like in my organization.
Which is the also kufanya introduction. You need HRM. Yes.
Yes, this is HRM.
Yes. Okay.
There are some counseling sessions that are done by my office, myself and my team. Wherever we have staff meetings, we put sessions that we need to talk about counseling. There are occasions that we call professional counselors from outside the organizations to come and talk to the staff. Yes.
Okay, that is good. What about the other organizations?
Walimu. I work in the public sector. So there was that arrangement that we had where let me call them the senior management of the human resource management team were trained. And then at some point during COVID, the onset of COVID, Public Service Commission had made some directives and also supported us with a list of guiders and counselors. So I think that is where we were supposed to recommend most of our staff to seek assistance. And then within the organization, we have an employee relations section where you can bring we call them at that point issues, so that you can get advisory on whether you can get counseling or you can just get guidance, depending with what the issue is about. But my concern would be that nothing is properly structured. So over the years, like in the last 3 years, and the cases have really grown and they've become very complex. We are seeing maybe not the right people were trained, or our issues have grown and we are more public about them and there's no one to really address them. Perhaps one of the reasons why we are joining this course, because we are seeing a lot of gaps. Yes.
Thank you so much for that sharing. What about the others? Thank you. Ama hiyo ni resistance muko nayo? Yes. How do you handle issues in your organizations? Yes.
In our organization, you have we are divided into departments, and in each department there are administrators. And you find that these administrators, when they find that they're having difficulty handling a particular employee, he's referred to the employee relations department. And then from the employee relations department, if it's an issue of counseling, he's then taken to the counseling unit.
Okay, thank you. You know, we said this is a learning. Maybe you're sharing something, another organization is going to learn from here. Let's have one more.
Can I share? We have a certified counselor who is our HSE manager, as well as HR manager, HR and admin manager, who is a certified counselor also. So when absenteeism or cases of alcohol arise, they try to counsel within the organization.
Okay.
For me, for us working in a startup, we are busy trying to convince management that we need professional counselors. So the burden mostly falls on the HR department to be able to do as much counseling and guidance as possible.
Thank you. Why I'm asking this, because there are a few organizations whereby, like me, I do counseling for them. You find that this is an organization which is outsourcing a counselor, and it's under HR. Then you go, you meet those clients, but the critical thing is about the issue of confidentiality. Na unajua hata Yesu hakupendwa kwao. Even you as trainers, you do trainings. When you are doing in-house trainings and you are the facilitators or you are the trainers there, you can see what people can be able to say. But when you source for someone from outside, they feel better and they feel like maybe this person is going to maintain confidentiality. But you as an HR, you've acquired these skills. They are going to help you so that you know that these clients, they need to be assisted. It's good when you get someone, because as I was doing this, there's an organization I was doing for the clients there have issues. And even the manager herself, the overall, yeye ndiye alikuwa anasema huyo Flora, kama hata shika hiyo, nataka kumwandikia barua. Hardly a month, she's the one who came crying because she had very many issues. She cried in the session, and I said, all of us, we have issues, like the HRM said. All of us, we have issues, because you never know. It's only that you have this challenge. How are you responding to it? So those things, that's why we say, you people who have knowledge, you have seen the importance of counseling at the workplace. How are you going now to incorporate it in your organization? How are you going to convince your managers, your seniors, so that you can be able to address this issue? Because if you have health employees, they're going to perform. So when we need to counsel, like you as an HR, you have these skills. You have been observing your employees. They've been performing, but there's that drastic change. Then you can only, maybe at times, so when a client can be cancelled is when the member of staff is not performing. And here you compare to how was he there before. You know, a person has been performing, na imefika mahali ameenda tu chwak, is not performing. So don't just assume huyu kama amefika miaka ya kwenda nyumbani, but they might be going through some issues. So if they're not performing, please let this person see a counselor. We say counseling can either be voluntarily or involuntarily. Voluntarily is whereby, Florence, you see that you have an issue, na unajisikia tu nataka upate mahali to pour out, to vent out, kusungumuza tu, and we say talking alone is a healing. So you get that conducive environment which is safe, there's that safety, and then you go and you start talking about it. And whereby there are some who have issues, but they are not willing to go for that session. But you as an HR, you have observed that this client, as I'm assessing them, they need to be assisted. You use other helping activities we call befriending. Be close to them, get from them, share with them what I've observed, recommend to them that they need to go for these sessions when you are in a friendly mood. So you can be able to go for that session voluntarily or involuntarily. So you as HRs, you can still recommend. Then when the staff is not responding to any motivation, wako tu. Atu waseme leo mtakuwa mnakunywa chai saa 4 na saa 10. By the way, like me, I go to work kwa sababu nasemanga wacha nikimbie nifikie ile chai ya saa 4. Hakuna haja ya kukunywa nyumbani. Nikifika tu hivi chai kwa meza, kila kitu nasema bas, sasa lete kazi. But if there is no tea, you are going in the saa 10 hakuna kitu. Una pesa kwa mfuko ya kukula lunch, mpaka unajiuliza sasa naenda ya nini? But you provide all that and still an employee is not motivated. Ujue hapo kuna kashida kanaingia. When there is that remarkable change in employees' behavior, that's what I was saying. He keeps on coming late, he's always absent, he's not performing, hapo jua kuna issue. When an employee disregards the consequences of their behavior, and this is what they are being told. You have talked to them, you have given them a warning letter, you are even now telling them they're going to be put on a performance appraisal to see if they're going to be retained. They are still not seeing the consequence. And we say, when you see that before you go to the extreme, please try to assist this client. You get to know all this stuff, what exactly is disturbing this client. This was a very good performer. And you know the cost of starting again the process of recruiting when you have that very high turnover. So we say that we want to avoid that. Please take care of your employees. Observe that when a person even he knows that when you come to work, you're drunk, according to our policies, not allowed, and he continues to, there's an issue. Like that client I had yesterday, niambia, madam, me, I never used to drink. Lakini huyu mwanamke amenifanya nikunywe so that I go home late, or at times I don't go home. Hata nikienda kazini, I don't have that morale of working. So such like employees get to know what is this issue they're going through. Then, in case of emotional development, this is whereby all of us, by the way, do we have anger? Tunakuanga na tuasira. Ama kuna community kuna hasira kushinda gani ingine? Do you have communities which have more anger than the other? Do you have them? Alafu najiuliza, okay,
mwalimu unachokoza watu.
Yeah, because I know there's that generalization, where they like saying, okay, employee Mumeru hapa na Mkisii. Mahasira zitakuwa kwa hiyo ofisi nyingi sana. I also keep on wondering, do these other people have emotions? Do they have them? You know, that is generalization where they say Wameru na Wakisii ndio wako na hasira. But I also keep on asking myself, do these other people have emotions? Muko na hisia? So,
yes, we are. Yes. Like Luos are very passionate.
Okay, hiyo ni a generalization, hiyo tutafanya research. But we say, all of us, we have emotions. And these emotions, we have the emotion of having that anger, hurt, guilt, that fear. But you find that when clients, all of us, we have those emotions, but now for them, they become so emotional. It's so intense. It's so go. They are hypersensitive. Yani like you took my pen and you never returned it, ni issue. Hapo jua kuna issue, That emotional development, when it's very trivial things, they become very emotional. Then hapo unajiambia, here there's an issue which needs to be addressed. In case of loss and bereavement in organizations, kindly know that those stuff need to. Like this time of COVID, there are some, like in my organization, we lost a colleague. Alitoka tu kazini, he had a cold, he went home, driver kampeleka. So the driver went to pick him. Kufika nagonga, afungui. Then they started like, has he come to the office? He has not come. He called the children and he was living alone. Watoto wanasema hapana papa hajatupigia. So the children came when they broke into the house, kumba alienda akakufa. So imagine the colleagues he was working with in that section. They need to be taken through that counseling process. This is now the bereavement you're talking about. This is where there's that loss in that organization need also to be taken through. There's persistent conflict and staff off between the staff and the supervisors, like what someone said, jua hapo kuna issue. So we need to help these clients. So there are so many circumstances, like employees who live with HIV, and not necessarily that they have to be infected. People, when you're talking about HIV, you cancel the people are infected, you cancel the people are affected by having the significant others being infected, even the colleagues. So you need to bring in all these issues. What is the goal of, and those ones I've just given as some of the circumstances when you can come in or when you can build a case to refer for a counseling session. What is the goal of this counseling at the workplace? It is supposed to help us to improve the performance of staff. And remember, when you are mentally healthy, you can perform, you can concentrate. But when you are not, it's going to reduce the accidents at the workplace. Accidents, it doesn't mean that where you have the machines Like there's one who's working in a manufacturing company. Even when you are printing, instead of you clicking, maybe you want 1 copy, unajikuta umeweka 11 copies, na zinakuja, that is a waste. That's an accident. So you might be undergoing a lot of waste. So when you are bringing in this counseling at the workplace, it's going to help into that. It's going to help the employees ventilate their emotions. Imagine even among you colleagues, like where I work, to be very honest, we were praying, like we had a very, the overall, we call it the principal secretary. Yeah? When she came, she was really mismanaging the organization. Okay, that is new leadership. She was not saying that you are there. Akiona huyu anasema, you never went to school. Where did you go to school? You never went to this university. And then she was saying, I know you are praying I go, but I'm also praying to stay. So you can imagine. So people just felt so demoralized. The emotions were just bottling up. Someone is just there to be seen, but they are not performing. So when you let these people talk, they are talking out whatever is hurting them. By the way, it helps this client to be psychologically fit. It also helps the employees to balance between family and work, so that you don't only be concerned about your family, then you forget about work, or you are so much concerned about work, then you forget about your family. It's also going to help to reduce this issue of absenteeism or health-related issues. And remember, 90% of the patients, or either inpatients or outpatients, their issues are stress-related. Hawana shida ni stress. And this stress, maybe they could have been helped to understand what this stress is, what causes the stress, signs of this stress, and how they're going to manage it. There's some things you cannot be able to avoid, but you know how to manage and you cope. So it is going to make some clients to gain that awareness. It's also going to reduce that dependence. And we say, when you are psychologically healthy and you are aware about yourself, you become independent. You are not under close supervision. You can do your work without any supervision. You know what you're supposed to be doing, and you can be able to perform. So, any question up to there before I look at the difference between guidance and counseling briefly, as much as we looked at it? I'll just mention. Kuna swali mpaka hapo? Am I changanyisha you? Am I mixing you up? Are you okay? Okay. Keeping quiet, I don't know what it means. So I want us to look at briefly like what we shared on guidance and counseling. Now I'll start from guidance, then I finish with counseling, even though I've written counseling guidance. As I said, under guidance, the counselor is an expert, okay? The counselor is an expert, but under counseling, it is the client who is an expert. They're the ones who knows what can work for them. Under guidance, whatever you're going to talk about, it is structured. Like now, whatever I'm talking about here, I know the subtopics I'm going to address. So I'm just guiding, because so I know when you're going to ask a question, here, we need to have more time so that we can talk about it. So you know what you're talking about. If I come to your organization and it's about performance appraisal, ukiuliza kitu which is outside performance appraisal, nakwambia hiyo ni ya siku ingine. But in counseling, it is unstructured, in the sense that you don't know the issues your client is going to present. Even they can come and they talk about, is the relationship I'm having with my boss imenisinya. But that is just a presenting problem. But now when they start going deeper and talking about it, they'll bring in so many other issues. Kumbe akona family issues, kumbe akona childhood experiences, kumbe akona other unfinished business, which were not coming out here. So when you're dealing with counseling, you really don't know what your client is going to talk about. But in guidance, you know what you're going to talk about. You can prepare. And in guidance, it is more of preventive. It is like the issue has not taken place, but you want to give a talk about it so that you can prevent it from happening. Like when we talk about alcohol and drug abuse, guidance and counseling, you are guiding them, you are telling them, you are informing them. You want to tell your staff what they need to do so that they can be able to achieve their goals. So you are making it so that at the end of the year, you can be able to achieve your targets. But in counseling, an issue or concern exists. That is why I say when you tell clients talk about their issues, no, nakwambia mi sina issue. And even I don't know what I can bring to a session. Don't bring big issues. Says where sema tu, it is because of this traffic jam inanisumbuanga sana. That's why I'm having an issue with my boss at the workplace. Where later here. But when you come to that session, do you know your traffic jam haitakuwa? There are so many other underlying issues. And when we talk about guidance, you are giving more information because you are an expert, you are knowledgeable, you have those facts. In counseling, you are sharing the information. The client is sharing that information, the experiences they are going through. And in guidance, you're talking about facts. You are talking about facts, how it is. You have the support, you have authority, that this is what it is and this is how it's supposed to be done. But in counseling, we are so much concerned about the feelings of the clients. So we say in counseling, we deal with the feelings of the clients. In guidance, we deal with facts. In counseling, when clients, let me put it like this. In counseling, when clients come, they talk about facts. So we are supposed to bring them down. They talk about their feelings, okay? When clients come to a session, they talk about the past. Things which happened even if it's 30 minutes ago, that is past. You need to bring them to talk about their present, how it makes them feel as per the here and now. When clients come, they also like talking about the others. It's because of so and so, that's why I'm having this issue. It's because of, they like talking about the others. Can you bring them down so that they start talking about themselves? Because we don't own up. Any issue we have, we don't own it up. We are only blaming the others. So we say in counseling, we want to remove clients from facts. We want to remove them from the past. We want to remove them from talking about the others. They talk about their feelings as by the here and now. They talk about here and now, and they talk about themselves. And that is why you find most of the people when they come to you, they are complaining how their colleagues are not performing. That is what is making them not to meet the target. Waulize, how are you contributing to this? So you bring them so that they also talk about themselves. So what are some of the characteristics of an effective counselor? How do you think you can be able to talk about who is a good counselor or who is a good trainer?
Can I try? Someone with good listening skills.
A person who has listening skills, yes. Thank you. Like hata sahi mungesema mnakuja for this essential counseling skills. Mungetaka lecturer wa aina gani? Ndio mjue at least you have gotten what you wanted.
They should be professional.
He has to be professional.
I think it's somebody who is supposed to be having apathy. Supposed to feel like the other party is also feeling.
Feel like what? HRM?
Apathy? Apathy, yes.
Apathy is what? Make me understand.
Empathy. You need to be in the shoes of this person that you are counseling. Feel just the way this person is feeling for you to be able to counsel them well.
Oh, so it's empathy, eh?
Empathy.
Empathy is whereby, yani unaongea na ukuta. Haki niliumwa, nikachapwa na mzee, naangalia tu. Nikapigwa hapa, ona vile niliumia, hata hali uligongwa. Yani ni kama you are talking to a wall. Okay, thank you so much. So you need to have that empathy. Thank you.
Can I try?
Yes.
Somebody who can maintain your confidentiality.
Someone who can maintain confidentiality.
Can I try?
Yes.
Someone who is self-aware.
Someone who is self-aware of what?
Of themselves. They know themselves, so they can be able to, when they know, they look like they are, you said a counselor should be empathetic, not sympathetic. So they're self-aware about themselves. So they know when they're crossing the line. They've moved from counseling to guidance and all other things.
Good.
So they can retract, yeah.
They should be respectful and non-judgmental.
Respect. Please don't judge me. Ati mimi nikikuja kwako ni kuongea tu vile nilinyimwa conjugal rights, vile nilifanya. Sasa hiyo ni vitu ya kuongea hapa. Don't judge me. Kwani nilitoka kwetu nifanye nini? Okay, thank you. So, there are so many characteristics which all of us, like us, we're going to look at them. This is what you need to see in that counselor, but this is what I want all of you to possess when you go to your workplace. Some of the characteristics for an effective counselor, a person who can be able to create that conducive environment for you so that you can be able to share your issues. A person who is not going to impose their own values on you. Remember the one I was talking about? A person who is going to be having the listening skills, and a person who will be listening actively. A person who is competent, you talked about it, a person who is qualified, a person who is skilled, a person who can also be able to use the observation skills. And remember, non-verbals or actions speak louder than words. What clients verbalize is like only 20%. What you can be able to pick from those non-verbals is over 80%. So you need to make use of those non-verbals. Person who is showing some genuineness, you show that interest, you are genuine, you are real, you have that patience. The issue of confidentiality, you are very confidential with the client's information. A person also who can be able to use the silent scale. I know at times when someone keeps quiet, it's like, yeah, amepoteza network. She doesn't know, he doesn't know what he's doing next. A person who have those interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is like, you know how to listen to the other person. You also come in and you talk. So both of you, how are you sharing that time? There are so many. I'm just using a few. So this one, how we create a counseling relationship, we have already looked at it. That is when we are using the core conditions. I've talked about it. You remember the core conditions? Those core conditions to help us to create a relationship. And I told you need to possess them. Nigani?
Empathy.
Genuine.
Genuineness.
Genuine.
Unconditional positive regard.
Unconditional positive regard, which is acceptance. We also talked about those enhancement variables. So tulisema ni gani, which are going to, you are going to add to those core conditions. So tulisema ni gani?
Attractiveness.
Attractiveness.
Expertness.
Expertness.
Trustworthiness.
Trustworthiness. So those are the enhancement variables. So I've already talked about them unless you have a question on it. Those are some of the enhancement variables which we need to possess, especially when we want to have that good relationship or a special kind of relationship with our client. Any question up to there before I go to the counseling process briefly? I'm trying to summarize because of time. Any question? Any clarification? Okay. If there's no question, let's look at the counseling process. We say that as we want to help our clients, we have to take them through a process. As a client comes to you with an issue and they are talking about it, you need to take them through a process. And when we talk a process, it is whereby it has some stages. It has some stages, and the way this is a systematic way of doing things. You want to, the way you're supposed to be doing things, the way you're supposed to be listening to your client's issues, how you're supposed to come in after listening, and when you're supposed to help them so that they can be able to come up with the action. One of the stages under the counseling process is exploration. When we talk about explorations, exploration is whereby when a client comes in, Agnes, I've seen Agnes somewhere. Is it Agnes or whoever? Agnes alikuwa hapa? Kuna mtu nimeona hakukuwa hapa.
I'm there.
Agnes, okay, Agnes.
Yes, Agnes is there.
What time did you join class?
I joined at around 8, and then I saw you had not started. Up to it, that then I didn't have the audios.
Then you did what?
There were no audio, so I could see you speak. I could not hear. I joined with through my laptop now. I had my phone on. Yeah.
And then you joined, eh?
Then I could see you, but I could not. There were no audios. Then I put it on. Then I switched off to the laptop.
Yes. So thank you so much, Agnes. What am I doing with Agnes? I'm trying to help her to articulate her concerns, to talk about the experience she had when she logged in. She logged in using the video and she didn't have the audio, so she couldn't hear, how she had again to log out, how she went to log in again using the laptop. That is how you help the clients to go deeper and talk about what they have gone through. So when you are talking about exploration, is whereby you let the client to articulate their concerns. Like, yes, I logged in and I logged out. So what is this which made her to log out and come back again? You have seen that is because she had not logged in using the audio. So in the same way, when a client comes, we want to help them so that they can be able to talk more about their concerns, so that they can be able to search these hidden motives, to search some of these feelings they are going through, to know what is going on in their thoughts. And remember, when clients come, they have some feelings. Like Agnes, when you are going through that, you are not hearing, you want again to log in. How did that make you feel? Or what came to your mind?
I thought my phone had a problem, but I also had not switched on the audio. Then I put it on, and then I realized the screen on the phone is very small. So I said, okay, let me switch off. Then the network disappeared.
Yes.
I went back, I continued with the phone, then I came back to the laptop.
Thank you. So when clients come, as they are narrating, as they are sharing their issue, listen to their feelings. Are they talking with a lot of guiltness? Are they talking with that hurt? Are they talking with that anger? Are they talking with that fear? What is this which is coming to their mind? And these are things you need to explore during that time. And remember, all that has been pushed from the awareness, it has gone to the unconsciousness. So through this exploration is going to help this client. So whatever was pushed from the awareness, from their consciousness, it has gone to their awareness. As they talk, it is going to come to their awareness. So through this exploration. And what is going to make the client to go deeper and retrieve the information they had pushed to the unconsciousness? You as a helper, you as an HR, you have to create that conducive environment. Conducive environment is whereby they're going to feel safe, they're going to have that confidence, there's going to be that confidentiality, the information is not going to be heard by other people. So here, the client role is to be willing to tell their story. Their story is to share their experience, to talk about it. And as they are talking, they're going deeper and exploring. What are you going to do so that someone can feel free or safe to talk about their issues? I cannot just start talking about my personal issues, my experiences I've gone through, or what maybe the sexual harassments I've been going through the workplace. What is this you need to do so that I can be able to feel free to talk about the sexual harassment I've experienced in my workplace? First, you as an HR or as a helper, if you want that other person to talk about what they are going through, you have to establish a working relationship with your client. you have to, that relationship, like when I was doing self-introduction in the morning, and I also wanted to know a bit about you, I was trying to create that working relationship. And how do you create this working relationship with your client? Is by you using those 3 core conditions we talked about, and you use those enhancement variables. Okay? That is how what is going to help you so that you establish that working relationship with your clients. I hope you are aware about them. You remember them with the ones you've just repeated? How you create it. So if you want that stuff, you are looking at them and you're telling yourself, huyu nikimwangalia hivi, ni kama kuna tushida. But how do I come in and help them? Use those core conditions, use those enhancement variables, and you're going to have that special kind of relationship with your client, and your client is going to feel free to talk about their issues. 2, what is going to make these clients to talk about their issues? You have to seek clarity and you really understand what exactly is the issue the client presenting. And we say, when someone comes with an issue, let's not work with assumptions. Let's not assume. Take it back to your client. I heard you saying that when you are coming to the office, your boss is always harassing you. Let me get to know what exactly you mean by this harassment. So you really want to seek this clarity. You really want to understand where your client is coming from, because so that both of you can know what you're addressing. And remember, when you're doing research, you don't deal with symptoms. You deal with the core problem. That is why you need to seek clarity. That's why you really need to understand what exactly is the issue the client is presenting to you. Other thing which is going to make your exploration to be a success is to make an assessment. And this is what I said, counseling can be voluntarily or it can be involuntarily. So you need to make an assessment. You need, and when you're making this assessment, this is when you now, I told you the skills you are learning, you can use them wherever you are, as much as it's not going to be a professional counseling, but you can use them so that you can be able to assist your staff. You can make an assessment, and when you are making this assessment, it's going to help you so that you can be able to obtain some information from your client. It's also going to help you to identify what are some of the contributing variables. What is this which is making the issue to be there? So you'll be doing this when you're listening to the client. It's also going to help you when you're making this assessment to determine what is the goal for this counseling session. What exactly do you want to achieve? It's also going to help you to gather some baseline data. As a client is talking, as they're giving you that background, you are gathering some information so that now you'll come to know what exactly is the client going through, and you know the areas to address, so that as much as you want to understand these issues, you're also helping your client to understand. As you're also making this assessment, it's going also to help you to motivate your client, and it's going to help you to come up with a strategy on how to sort out these issues. Then the other area which is going to make you to succeed in this exploration, that is to make your client to go deep and talk about their issues, is to negotiate a contract. Now, this is when counseling becomes counseling. Counseling becomes a professional counseling when you enter into a contract with your client, when you enter into an agreement with your client, when you set those norms and those rules that this is what is going to backfire here. And that is why I said you might just be using your counseling skills without going to negotiate a contract. But if you have to, then please make sure you maintain that contract. Okay. So this is what I've just talked about, how you establish that, how you identify, you clarify the problem. So those are details of what I've just talked about, how we need to make that assessment. We need to understand what exactly are we addressing. And there's one psychologist called Susan Gilmore. She came up with a dimension on how to make an assessment. I was not able to draw it. And let me see. She came up with a dimension assessment. She came up with a dimension, just a minute, identity, work, relationship. I'm just going to show you, I don't know whether you can be able to see my drawing. Can you see something? A triangle? Can you see that? Hello, can you see that?
No, the screen is blank.
It's blank.
Yes, blank.
Yes.
It's blank. You're not seeing anything?
No.
Well, okay. She drew a triangle. I want you to draw a triangle under this tool of assessment. She drew a triangle. I want you to draw that triangle. Inside, put assessment. And at the peak, one of them put identity, another one work, another one relationship. Are we there? You draw that triangle, you put identity, you put work, and you put relationship. And for us, she said, when you are helping your client, you need to look at these three dimensions, which I've not drawn. And one of the dimension is work, or let me start with relationship. When we talk about relationship, she talked about the three dimensions, which is relationship. And when she was talking about relationship, that's why I was asking you, have you been into a relationship? And how did you come out? Have you ever come out of a relationship? So for us, she said, a relationship can either grow or it can wither. In the sense that when you're in that relationship, when clients come to a session, as they are talking, whom are they talking so much about? How are they talking about this individual? Is he or he talking about this person as his or her support system? Is he talking about this person like is there or is there for him or her? So, or is he talking about how this person has caused them more harm? Like they're distancing themselves from that relationship. So it is you to make an assessment. Which dimension is disturbing your client? Is it about relationship? She also talked about another dimension which clients you need to assess when clients come to us is about work. Work, when she was talking about work, work is not about employment. According to her, work is how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, how you spend the resources at your disposal. So if whatever you are doing with your time, with your energy, with your resources, that is work. It's not about employment. There's some people say, I have a lot I'm supposed to do. I don't have time to do it. I have a lot of work at the workplace. I don't know what to do. Then you know the dimension which is disturbing this client is about work. Thinner time, thinner whatever. So you know it's about the work issue. Another issue is about identity. Identity is how is this client identifying themselves? Like when I come to your workplace and I want to look for you, how are you known? Even where you live in your estate, unajulikana kama mama, so and so, baba, so and so, or that HR officer, or that church leader, or that youth leader. It gives you that identity. And this identity, we are all very unique. It gives us that separateness. Like when you are looking at what is important to you, what is not important, then you can be able to know. Kindly mute. Then you can be able to know what is this which is working for you. Who can mute her from him for me? Let me see. Mute all. Thank you. So that is about the assessment we make when you're taking your client through that process. Then this one we have talked about how you negotiate a contract with your client. Then conclude on that exploration. And this one, it is something I want all of you, when you're living here, please try to use it at your workplaces. I don't know whether you have come across Johari's. Johari's window, these were two psychologists, Harry and Joseph, who came up with this tool. And they say that, remember someone said a good counselor is a person who has gained self-awareness. How do you gain self-awareness? You can use this exercise for you to gain some self-awareness. And we are saying, before we go out there to help other people, we have to know who we are first. So that when you go there, you also know that person has his or her own awareness. So under Johari's window, they came up with this. These are the windows. We have the open arena, or you can call it the known to all. The information which is here, our behaviors, our attitudes, our values, it's like people know about it. And the information which is here, it is in an open area. You don't have control over it. And you are aware, they know it. Like here, it is known to others, so that this information which is here, it is known to others and it is known to self. So I know you know it. Like some of the information here which is in the public, it's like in the public domain, I know you know it and I know you know it. So those behaviors, those attitudes, all the characters which we are talking about. When they also talked about the blind spot or the blind self, and this is whereby when we are talking about the blind spot, this is the information which is under this window. It is known to others. Wengi wanaijua, or others know it, and you as an individual, you don't know it. And you find that mostly, this one is very critical. Like there are some things which other people know about you, but where you are not aware about it. And this is where you find mostly us as HR, we keep on repeating the same mistake. And there's no one who is telling you, Flora, please, usirudie hii tena. But we say, when you are going to work on this window is when you are going to get feedbacks. Feedbacks from the other people. Like now, if I ask you, what is this you think you know, you have picked about me, and you are telling yourself, Flora, anajua hiyo kweli. So you are telling yourself, it's like Flora is not aware. The few minutes, hours we have interacted, and there's some things you think I'm not aware, and you are telling yourself, akisi Flora tu ambiwange hii. Ni kama gani? Yes? And maybe if I'm aware, atakwambia aki hiyo niko aware iko kwa open arena or open self. Ni kama gani? Give me a few, like two. Na unajua, don't give me 3 days to know you. Just give me 1 minute, I'll know who you are. So what is this you're telling yourself about Flora? Flora is me, yes? And you're telling yourself, aki ni kama aka kamama akajua. But start with positive, and then you tell me, Flora, what you need to work on. Nipandishe ngazi kwanza. Kwani mume mute?
One positive is you're knowledgeable.
Yes?
One positive is you're knowledgeable.
I'm knowledgeable. Okay, thank you. Nipandishe ngazi kabla mteremshe. Yes? Thank you for that feedback. And always when you're giving feedbacks, wacha kugive justification. Wacha zikuje vile zinakuja. Hiyo ndio wanaona. Yes, thank you. One more.
Flora, you are a good communicator.
Thank you. Okay. Haya. I know wengine msitumie kwa email ama mtatuma kwa WhatsApp. Yes?
You are approachable. You are approachable.
Okay, I'm approachable. Thank you for that. Yeah. What do I need to work on? What is my blind area? Which you are telling yourself, Aki Flora, anajua kweli. And there's no personalization here. By the way, for someone to grow, give them the negative so that they be aware about it. Na watanini, they will work on it. And I'll give you a feedback I was given, and I've never forgotten it. Yes.
Can I try?
Yes.
But just on a joke side, na huringi.
Sorry?
Huringi.
Siringi.
Joke side, just a joke side.
Okay. Thank you. Something?
Maybe Mwalimu, something I've observed since the beginning of the class.
Yes.
I don't know how to sum it up in one word.
Yes.
But I've noticed you are really open to negative criticism or remarks, and you invite them, which is something maybe myself I would not do, but I've seen you're very open to it, and you have mentioned it several times, and I don't know how to sum it in one word.
I was not aware about it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to grow, please insist to be given on what you need to work on, the negative side of yourself, so that you be aware about it and you see how to work on it. Because at times you might be repeating the same things to other people, and ni Flora mnaenda kukutana na napendanga kufanya ABCD. But when you insist on that, they're going to help you. And that is why we say, even at the workplaces, you have your staff. As much as they have their negatives, there's a potential you are seeing in them, but they have not seen it. So can you tell them what the good things you have observed in them? Then from there, unamwambia, maybe, Agnes, this is what you need to work on. You are so emotional when you're talking to people. Like me, they used to tell me I behave like a dictator, but it's because of the nature of work I do. And I remember when I did counseling in 201, how many years down the line? And I remember during that time, we were being given feedbacks. And then someone gave me a feedback. Flora, are you aware that you have sexy eyes? Msianze kuniangalia sahi mtaona kwa hii screen ama niitoe. Imagine. So when I'm talking like to HRM, anaona tu Flora is suggesting. Na saa hizo, you don't have that at the back of your mind. So such like feedbacks, they make you to be aware about them so that you work on them. Mimi nikikaanga na watu nilikuwa nawaambia sasa hapa ni business. So that someone doesn't have different thoughts in their mind. Now, where you are not there. So always insist to be given those feedbacks, the good side of you and what you need to work on. It will make you to be better. So you'll gain that self-awareness. So when we talk about the facade or the hidden self, this is mostly you find that some of this information which is here, it is not known to others, and mostly it's known to self. And you find that ndio ile tunaitanga private part of my information. But unapata kuna a few, you have admitted to this domain, a few who know some information about you, but mostly it's what is known to you. But we want to help you so that you can be able to self-disclose. Self-disclose means you talk about it. As you talk, then you are going to put this information to come to the open self. Then we have the unknown self. Unknown self, the information which is here, it's neither known to you, neither is it known to the others. Yani kuna ile to vitu, you are not aware about it, and that information is with you, or it is not known to anyone else. Hakuna mtu anajua, not the HR, not you as an employee, not the counselor, not the client. Hakuna mtu anajua hiyo. But you find here, during this exploration, as a client keeps on talking, they'll go deeper and discover some of the issues which they had pushed from their awareness. Now wakafuruga huko chini, wakaiskuma, they repressed it. So that information is there because that information, if it comes to their awareness, it is going to trigger those feelings of anger, humiliation, of hurt, of that pain. And here you find also, there are some of the talents people have, and they have not discovered them. But in the process, it emerges during that time. So when it becomes to their awareness, it will come now to their open self. The essence here is to try to reduce these three windows. I said the blind spot is whereby you get feedback from other people, whether it is positive or negative, you have it. Then once you get that feedback, it's going to reduce this window. It's going to enlarge the open self. The unknown self, once you discover by you going through that exploration, you're going to discover your talents. You're going to retrieve that information which is in there and consciousness. Then the information which is in the hidden self, This we say that when you disclose it, you share with other people, is going to help you to reduce these windows so that we enlarge the open self window, that the information is known to other people, so that when you get any challenges in life, it will not make you to feel vulnerable. When you hear people talking about you, hiyo wamejua, that is maybe I not talked about it, it is okay. But when you keep it to yourself na usikie watu wamejua, it will make you feel vulnerable. So this is what is going to help us to gain that self-awareness, especially when we are taking our clients through the self-awareness. Then the other stage, I'll just mention them. I'll not go into detail. Remember, this is under the counseling process and we have only 30 minutes remaining. The understanding stage. Understanding stage, this is, I don't know whether you have had issues. I don't know what to do as you talk. I say, oh, nishajua. Nitafanya ABCD. If you went to that level, then you went to the understanding stage. Understanding stage is whereby you look at things from a different perspective. You try to adjust your frame of reference. If the issue has been going to work and you're not having good relationship with your colleagues because you go to work late, then you tell yourself, instead of me going at 9, nitaanza kwenda saa 2:30. So you start looking at things from a different frame of reference. You try to adjust it. Then that one is going to help you sort out your issues. Then for it to be able to be successful, you go through the reassessment. Remember, in exploration, you're assessing, but you reassess what are some of these things you are picking from this client. You also continue maintaining that working relationship with the client, and you pursue the work of the contract that you know yours here is to help your client. So I'll not go into that one because of time. Like when I was saying issues that counselors should challenge, remember under the understanding stage now here, you can challenge your client, whereby like, how is your client interpreting some events? What are some of these discrepancies? Like someone is coming to you, is sharing a very emotional issue, anacheka na analia, sincerely. What is he or she communicating? So those are some of the discrepancies we are looking at. And if they have those irrational beliefs, like they're thinking negatively, they're thinking in a crooked way, they're interpreting things negatively, and you are positive, then you need to challenge them so that they can be able to look at things from a positive perspective. They can also be able to express the underlying feelings, some of the feelings which is like we use what we call the advanced level empathy. Yeah? You use those hunches. You use maybe some guesses that maybe this is what your client wants to talk about. So there's so many things here you need to challenge. And the action stage, which is the last stage, this is now where a client is supposed to decide on appropriate change. What exactly do they want to change? Then how are they going to implement this change? And how are they going to transfer this learning and they put it into practice? And then from there, you need to end the counseling relationship. Like once you have entered into a relationship, I know you have been going to trainings, or you've been going to meetings, or you've been going to workshops. Alafu inafika now day 3, you're going to go back, hamutakutana tena, you're parting ways, even when you're in college. So you find that there's that loss, especially when you're ending that relationship. That is the one you want to know, that even in counseling, clients go through a loss. Especially they have been coming to you, they're talking about their issues, they have been leaning, you have been giving them a shoulder to lean on, and it reaches a time now that they're going to part ways. So you have to know how to terminate your session. Like by saying that, I'm also preparing you that we are almost terminating our session. Any question there before I look at the counseling skills? The counseling skills nitaguzia haraka haraka. So that process, You can take your client through exploration even for 3 sessions or 4 sessions before a client goes to understanding and before they take an action. Or you can just start with you start a session with a client, they start exploration, they tell themselves, I've known, na nimejua kitu ya kwenda kufanya. Don't tell them hatujamaliza exploration, hatujaenda understanding, hatujaenda action. Let the client be. They don't know that we have those stages. But as you are listening to your staff as they are talking, go deeper, find out, discover what this issue is. Let them really understand what the issue is. Then from there, they go to the understanding. Then from there, they can be able to transfer that learning into, put it into practice. Swali mpaka hapo. Ninaongea sana na nyinyi amuongei. There are some people who have not talked since we started. Haya, tuendelee. We continue?
Yes, we continue.
Higher. The other critical area we need to look at is about our counseling skills. And for us to do our work in a competent way, we need to possess some skills. We need to acquire some of these skills. And when we are talking about these skills, let me see whether So like when we are talking about a skill, when we're talking about a skill, what is a skill? Who uses skills in counseling? Whom do you prefer to be with you, by the way? Is it a person who talks or a person who listens? Munataka mgani? Nianze kuadjust, nianze kupiga mdomo sana. Which kind of person could you like to have in a session? A person who talks to you or a person who listens to you?
Both.
Exactly, it's both, but more of somebody who listens.
Person who listens. Now, usiende kwa session uanze parabara, it is not your session. If you want to talk, be a client. But if you're going for a client session, talk less, let the client talk more. Listen to your client as they are talking. Listen to their feelings. We are going to look at those skills. So when we talk about a skill, it is something we acquire so that we can be able to carry out a task in a competent way. And in counseling, when you're talking about a skill, it is that interpersonal tool. Like you and me, we are talking. How are we supposed to be relating? Am I supposed to be giving you time to talk? How am I supposed to give you time also to talk? So all of us as HRs, as counselors, we need to possess and we need to acquire these skills. And once you acquire them, they're going to help us to communicate effectively. And I'm not sure, have you been communicating effectively? Or you have just been communicating? Have you been communicating effectively or you have just been communicating? Hello? Have you been communicating effectively?
Yes.
You know, some of us, we communicate, but we don't communicate effectively. So if you've been communicating effectively, let me get at least 19 skills you've been using so that I know whether your communication has been effective. Arakaraka. 19 skills you've been using if you've been communicating effectively. Zikuje zikianguka. Yes? Which skills have you been using? Florence, tutaongea na ACHRP, then they will organize on the notes. Which are some of the skills you've been using? Arakaraka?
Can I try communication skills?
Yes, which are these they are the ones I want. Which are these communication skills?
Okay, listening and
yes,
talking.
Listening. I'll add to you active listening. Yes. Mumebakisha 18. How many? If you've been effectively communicating, and if you have to communicate effectively, you have to possess and you have to acquire these skills. Yes?
We have been.
I'm not getting?
Interpersonal skills.
Gani hizo?
You have been able to get feedback from us.
Feedback, hiyo ni zingine. Bado muko 19 skills.
Observing the body language.
Aha, observation. Yes. Mmebakisha ngapi? 17. Twenda haraka haraka.
Presentation.
Presentation hiyo ndaiweka side ingine.
Use a language that the client will understand better.
Sasa hiyo ndio skill gani sasa? I'll put it on the other side. Hiyo ni language.
Maybe maintaining eye contact.
Maintaining eye contact, I'll put it aside, but it is a skill in one of the skills. I'll put it aside. But tumebakisha 17. Yes, Florence. Florence?
Confidentiality.
I'll put it aside. Yes, it is there, but I'll put it aside. Niambie mumekuwa mkitumia nini?
Verbal and non-verbal.
Verbal and non-verbal, it is under observation, eh? Okay, it's covered under observation, thank you.
Negotiating skills.
Negotiating skills, nitaweka aside. Where? I know we know them. It's only that, are you getting what I'm saying? So which skill have I used? Which skill have I used?
Asking questions.
Questions. Questioning. It's a skill. It's a very powerful skill. Eh? So let's look at
an engagement skill.
Engagement?
Engagement skill.
Verbal.
So are you seeing all those skills? Do I go through all of them? Ama muniambie ile nataka niongee. How do you want me to approach that because of time? You know all these skills, eh?
They're self-explanatory.
The self-explanatory. Is that okay with all of you? Huyo ni yeye amesema.
Please address the one for confrontation.
Confrontation.
Also concreteness.
Concreteness.
Silence
Okay.
as well.
Yes?
Silence.
Silence. Okay, let me go through very fast, like in less than 10 minutes, nione kama nitaguzia zote, and I'll pick them randomly. When you're looking at, in a session, you're going to take your client through a session, and you're in that office, one of the skills you need to start with is the attending skill. When we are talking about the attending skill, this is you have set, like when you're in your office, there are those front two seats you put in front of your desk, eh? Or your table. So those two seats, if a client has come and he or she is telling you, I have an issue, I want to talk to you, and this issue is personal, you just leave your seat. You see the seat you are sitting on, that is authority. This is a boss. But if you come out of that seat, na ukae kwa ile viti zingine mumeweka hapo kwa ofisi, and you let this employee to talk about their issues, remember you are at the same level. So under this attending skill, we have two skills under that attending skill. We have the social skill. Social skill is how you welcome your client, how you greet your client, how you sign to be kind, polite, that humbleness. And when you're using the social skills kindly, when a client comes to you, don't ask that client, how are you? When you ask that client, how are you? Definitely they will tell you they are fine, but they are not. So just welcome your client, show them that seat, let them sit. Once they have sat, you also sit. Then after they have sat, but if they stretch their hand, and don't be stretching your hands, utaweza leta mkono upate mwingine anakuletea kichwa. Unaweza leta kamkono mtu ashaanza kupiga magoti. You'll start getting embarrassed. So, but if your client or that employee stretches the hand, you also stretch. Still under the attending skill, you use what we call the physical skill. Under the physical skill, we have an acronym we call SOLA. So you can put that SOLA there. SOLA is you sit squarely with your client. Sitting square means you sit in a position that you can be able to observe the nonverbals of your client. You leave that distance kidogo that you can be able to observe your client. You also sit in an open posture. When you're talking to your client, please don't close your hands. Don't close your feet. Don't lean on your seat. Kuna sengine wabosi wanakaa alafu wamefunga mikono, alafu wamelini, sema haraka, shida ni nini? Hapo mtu ataongea. Be in that open posture. That I'm here available for you. Weka mikono yako kwa lap, on the laps. Then, by the way, have you heard what President Ruto told Kenyatta today? Mulisikia? And it was so bad. Did you hear that? Have you heard about it? Nimekumbuka sahi that I've not shared with you. Did you hear that? Hey, who is that talking? And I'm asking a question. Did you hear what Ruto told Uhuru? And it is bad.
Oh, we didn't hear.
Alimwambia, mpaka Daniel ameonekana na sijamuona. I want you to lean forward appropriately na uonyeshe interest.
Yes,
yeah. That you want to hear, what is this? The president has told the former president. You know the video, you show that interest. The same way when clients come to us, lean forward appropriately, that you want to listen. Hata wengine walikuwa na sauti unasema hapana tujisikia, tafadhali tuongee. Najua wengine mumekaa mkisonga hivi karibu, you don't want to miss. Lean forward appropriately. Mukitaka kusikia moshene ya Flora. It's like kind of you're showing that interest. Then maintain that eye contact when a client is talking to you. Is there a difference of maintaining eye contact and staring? Kuna tofauti? Like now, are you staring at me or you're maintaining eye contact? When we say you maintain staring is whereby you just look at a client at one position, and you know it can be so threatening. But when you are maintaining eye contact, you observe your client from head to toe. And remember, we say those nonverbals, through the observation, you're going to see them and they're going to help you to gather a lot of information from that client. Okay? Then after that, after maintaining that eye contact, be relaxed in the sense that don't be like you are mechanical. Unasahau Flora na kubo, unakumbuka you're supposed to lean. Just be relaxed and you listen to your client so that a client can be able to open up. Next one, another skill you need to use after that is structuring. Structuring now, this is when counseling becomes counseling. This is when you enter into a contract. This is when you come up with the agreement. This is when you set up some norms. This is when you agree on the fee you're going to charge your client. This is where you're going to talk about what your role will be, what the client's role will be. Then from there, I'm just mentioning them. Then from there, you can use the active listening. When we talk about active listening, remember you are using the SOLA. You are not supposed to take any notes. You are supposed to be actively listening. You are supposed to listen to the story the client is sharing with you. So you have to listen. You listen to the feeling. You listen to the facts. You listen to how you are in this interpersonal relationship with your client. You actively listen. You listen even to what your client is not able to talk about. Then we have observation. When we talk about observation, and as I said, the body language, someone talked about the body language. Someone talked about even the voice when the client is talking. Someone talked about the words when you are narrating that content. Each one of them, it has its percentage. That's why I said observation skill is very critical, like what you verbalize, what you talk, what you share. You know, I can talk because that is maybe what you want to hear, but not what I really want to talk. That is only 8%. Kwa ukweli ya hiyo, only 8%, 8, 9. And when you are using the body language, those gestures, those non-verbals, umekaa kiti nusu, unakaa unachikuna, unakaa umefunga mikono, 55% is the truth of what you're going through. 37% is the tone, the voice your client is using. So you need to observe that. So when you're observing, you have to have that ability that you can be able to observe your client's behavior, and you pick those non-verbal data, okay? And when you are using this observation, you have to observe the physical level of your client, the energy they're using, their appearance. You also have to listen to observe the emotional level, like when they're talking, their facial expressions, are they happy? Are they depressed? Are they unhappy? All of those ones you need to listen to. The interpersonal, which is also under observation. How is this client talking to you? By the way your client talks to you, it tells you how they also communicate with the other people out there. Okay, so if they talk with a lot of anger onto you, and it's like, so even out there, that is how they are behaving. So those are things you also need to observe. Questioning. We say questioning is a skill which is going to help us to gather a lot of information. And you should not ask questions which are going to sound like you're interrogating, you're investigating, you're doing ABCD. Ask questions which sound to be in a statement form. May I get from you, Winnie, the issues you are going through? How maybe do you want me to help you? What happened during this time? So let's not ask the why question. Why were you responding that way? Why did you come late? You start using why, the client will run to defend themselves. Even those employees, when they have an issue, please don't ask them why. Why did you do this? Why did you come late? Why did you talk to him? Watatafuta justification. Then let's not ask so many questions at a time when you are taking your client through a session, or you are even helping that employee. Ask one question at a time. Like even now, I maybe ask Florence, are you married? Where do you work? Do you have children? Sasa nimemuuliza maswali ngapi? Ataanza kujibu gani? She might start with the first one, akuulize the others. Ama answer the last one, akuulize the others. Ask one question at a time. Let's not ask questions which are also containing answers. Like when kind of you're pregnant, na unamwona ako pregnant. We do respect Winnie if you're not, shetani ashindwe, usishike saa hii. So don't ask those questions which are containing answers to your client. And let's not ask the why question to our clients. Instead, let's ask the open-ended questions. Like, may I get to know from you what exactly you went through? Let it be open. So even this employee at Anzia North, Anzia South, Kuja, anywhere, they just freely associate, they talk. Okay? Then from there, I talk about reflection of feelings. Reflection of feelings, this is whereby when clients come to us, I told you, they talk about facts. So you need to make them to talk about their feelings. So it is like you are looking at a mirror. So the facts is what you are seeing. What you are seeing in this mirror is the feelings. So that is what we want you now. As a client is talking about those facts, ask them how that one is making them to feel, so that they can move from the fact, they reflect on them, and they go to the feelings, they talk about it. Because in counseling, we are so much concerned about the feelings. Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is saying what your client has said in your own words, but the content or the meaning remains the same. You don't behave like a parrot. What is your name? What is your name? No. You say what that employee has said in your own words, but the content or the meaning remains the same. It's like you are rephrasing. Silence. When we talk about silence Silence, at times, someone will feel like someone is getting confused. Silence, you might ask your client a question. Remember, they have to reflect on that question before they respond. Give them their space. Silence is just keeping quiet. It's just trying to give your client that space so that they can reflect and they respond. Or a client might be sharing, na afike mahali because of those emotions, mnasikianga mahali client amenyongwa na kiwaru, ameblock. Give them their space. They can talk when they have that anger, they pause, they keep quiet, and then they can continue. But if you see that and you observe that the silence is prolonging, by you using the observation skill, you can come in and say that I saw that you are sharing and it has reached a time you have started fidgeting your feet. That is what you observed during that time of silence. So silence, give your client space. They are reflecting on what maybe you have asked, or they are getting emotionally affected and they want to have that space. Then from there, they can continue talking. Don't get overworked. You know, there are some people, especially the extroverts. When you see someone keeping quiet, please work on it. Give your client space so that they can be able to address that. Summarization. Yes?
Now I was laughing.
Someone is talking?
Yes.
Sorry?
I'm saying I was laughing because that you attempted to malicious for the client, for the person.
Is she talking to me?
Yes.
Is she talking to me? I'm not getting it.
Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm saying, I'm laughing that part where you're saying for extroverts,
Yes,
you
now you are clear.
Yeah, you're tempted to finish for the client. So I'm laughing because that's very true sometimes for us who are extroverts. Yeah.
Yani mtu tu hajaongea sentence ushamumalizia. Wacha tumumalizie. Those are the things we need to work on so that we can be able to be competent. Thank you for that. Then we have summarization. Summarization, when you are in a session, remember, like since morning, we have covered so many things. So you can summarize, you can pick on what we have talked about. You can say, maybe we started with the introduction on how to create a relationship. You pick the key issues, the main, the theme, the main points or the main issues the client presented to you during that session. Like during this session, we have been here for 20 minutes and we have shared about the anger you have, especially when you're relating with your boss and how it is affecting you even when you're working with your workmates. So that is a summary. Summarization, you are tying together the key issues the client has shared in that session. Summarization can be done during the session, in between the session, or you can summarize at the end of that session, or you can do summarization at the beginning of the next session. You can summarize to your client what you covered the previous session in that meeting. And that summarization, you can do it and a client can add to what you are saying. I want to look at focusing skill. When we talk about focusing, like for instance, I want to talk about it, but time is not there. Flora is coming, by the way, how many minutes do we have? Tunamaliza saa 5:30, eh? Let's get to the way forward so that I know what to do. Ama niache hizo skills hapo, we do something else. Yes? Tunamaliza saa ngapi? It's already 11:30. Is it 11:30? Ama ni saa yangu inaruka?
It's 11:31. It's okay to do up to 12, 30 more minutes. I mean, according to me.
Thank you very much for owning up. According to me, we can go to 12. What about the others?
Yes, Mwalimu, I think it is for our own benefit.
It's time
to endelea.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that consensus. I hope it's okay with all of you. So I'll go very fast. That's why I'm not going into details on these skills because of time. Eh? And I was looking at, like now I'm your client. Now all of you, now the 37 of you, you are my therapists. I'm coming to you and I have an issue. Sasa nimekuja kwa ofisi yako. Excuse me, I have an issue. Kwangu leo sikulala. My spouse drinks. He has not paid rent. The school fees has not been paid. We don't have food. He's very abusive. I don't know what to do. Aya, cancel me. Tafadhali.
Can I try? Kwanza nitakukaribisha. I welcome you. So at least tutakuwa umepata morali kidogo.
Cancel me. Ni mimi sio mwingine. It's not theoretical, it's practical. Flora. So
Flora.
Umeniambia what you are going to do now. You're telling me, Flora, you are free to start with any issue. So nimekuambia hizo zote. So where are you going to start from? Which issue are you going to start with?
Can I try?
Yes, Stella.
I will request you to try to tell me more about it.
More about what?
No, the whole story about drunkardness of your husband. Maybe there's something else beyond that.
Me, I don't know where to start from.
Take a glass of water first.
For me, yeah, pole sana that haukulala. Maybe sit down, relax, then unaweza niambia mbona kwanza haukulala jana? What led you?
Mzee wangu is very abusive.
So what happened jana? Alikuwa anafanya nini?
Kwanza jana ndiye alinipiga.
Alikupiga?
I'm your client. Yes?
Tunakupea pole kwa kupigwa kwanza.
Oh yeah, pole sasa itanisaidia aje? And remember we said in counseling, now when you tell me pole, you have started to sympathize with me. Ati mnanipea glass of water. Nalikwambia kwangu hakukuwa na maji. Remember, assume this is your client. Na amekuja kwako anakuambia those issues. Which issue do you think you can start with? From those many issues I've talked about. And by the way, that's what most people are going through. That is what most people are going through. Tukikuja kwa ofisi tuna smile, plastic smile, things are okay. Ndio hilo someone said, yani sasa kuna kwa usiku jameni, inaenda kwa ile nyumba. Guy. And you have to go back there. So which issue can you start addressing as my therapist?
Flora, maybe I find out how she's feeling about what she experienced.
Wewe, ni mimi unaambia.
So Flora, how...
Ni Sarah anaongea ama ni nani?
Ni Sarah. So I'll say, Flora, how do you feel about what you've gone through?
I'm feeling very bad and I'm even regretting why I got married.
I hear you. What would you like to do? How do you want to handle your situation?
I don't know. That's why I've come to you.
But you know, Flora, I can't make the decision for you. I can only find out how you feel. What thoughts have been running through your mind? I'm sure you've thought of...
The thoughts which came to me is just I come to you so that you can be able to help me.
Sorry for laughing.
Aki unacheka Sarah na nidalia hapa. Sawa. So that is my therapist. Anyone else to try before I move on? By the way, which issue among the men I talked about, if you are actively listening, nimeongea shida nyingi, which one are you going to start with? Caroline?
Being empathetic to that particular client. Try to put yourself into her shoes or her.
Nimewambia, the many issues I said, my husband is abusive, he's an alcoholic, hajalipa rent, hakuna food, watoto hajalipigwa fees. Kwa hizo zote mtaanza na gani? Which one are you going to start with as a therapist?
My name is Catherine. I'll start first by telling you we go for lunch, or let's say we go for break, so that you can relax. And so that you can, first of all, you said you slept angry, you never took anything. So that time when you're feeding, now I can do some questions, leading questions, so that I can understand now to what extent is your pain. Then from there, the leading questions, I can lead them in a manner that I can understand your financial strain and try and assist you to know whether you can still because one, in the evening you must sleep. You will not sleep in my house. You have to pay that rent. You have to look for more food. That plate you have there will not be taken by your children.
I'll cut you short, Catherine. Suppose you have like 5 clients like my similar issues like mine. Utawapeleka lunch maranga.
Madam, can I try?
I'm trying to create an environment so that I can understand. You can now feel relieved.
Let's have the last one. Thank you so much, Councillor Catherine. Let's have the last one. Which issue are you going to start with? Yes?
Yeah, I think I can ask the client what feels more pressing so that I can get it from their part, what it is, sometimes you have all these issues, but there's something that feels so pressing. So maybe we can start with that one.
Very good.
Mwalimu?
Yes?
Now that it's a list of problems, I think I can start with the most recent one now that yesterday night you are beaten. I'll start by asking you, telling you, Flora, nini ilifanya mzee akakupiga?
Hata sijui. And remember we said, let's not ask closed questions. If you ask closed questions, you'll get, mimi, hata sijui.
Hey.
Thank you so much, my therapist. Like we are now using the focusing skill. Focusing skill is where a client comes with so many issues. Like now you're free to share your issues. Alafu anaanza me, I don't know, my husband is ABCD, he drinks, there's no food. So it's like, don't struggle. Ask Flora. I've heard you saying your husband is abusive, he drinks, there's no food, he has not paid school fees for the kids. Where do you want us to start from? Which issue do you want us we start from? It's me who knows. Afadhali anipige, lakini alete chakula nikule na watoto waende shule. Okay? It's me who knows it better. Like what one of you said, when you're using the focusing skill, you're helping your client to prioritize on an issue, and he or she is going to give you a direction so that you know what maybe your client needs to achieve from that session. Don't struggle. Because you cannot start with due respect of the recent one, because maybe that is not really a challenge to her. What she wants, afadhali uliwe na nichapa, lakini wewe tuletee chakula ndio nipate machozi ya kulia. So you use the focusing skill from the many. That's why we say, me, I'm so confused. Niko na shida nyingi hata sijui naanzia wapi. So just tell me, which are these issues? So where do you want us to start from? Already has given you a direction, he has given you a flow, he has given you a priority. So you start addressing that. But in the process, as you are addressing, they might also be mentioning these other issues. Still, it is okay. So after the client has prioritized for you by using the focusing skill, then you are going to use the concreteness. Someone is asking me now, you want to get more information. If maybe the issue I've prioritized is about abuse. Now, when you're using the concreteness skill is whereby you become specific. Specific now, you talk more, let me get to know about this abuse. It's kind of, you want to know what time to, maybe you also want to know, just give me a minute. Sorry for that. So you let that client talk more about that abuse. is kind of, when does this abuse happen? May I get to know more about this abuse? So kind of you want to, and we say that you ask questions which sound to be in a statement form. It's kind of, you want to ask them, in what time? Is it at the end of the month? Is it in between the month? Is it when he has the money? So you want to get that. So they talk more. They talk more on that issue they have prioritized, and they be specific on that issue so that you can be able also to understand where your client is coming from. Then I'll talk about the other two, the issue of empathy and conditional positive regard and genuineness. We talked about them. I'm not going to talk about them now unless you have an issue. Then we have minimal prompts. Please, when that employee is talking to you, or you have gotten a visitor in your office, I wish you can invite me to your offices. When I'm coming and I'm talking to you, I'm asking, I've come here and I need some assistance. Are you able to use those minimal prompts? Minimal prompts are those encouragers. These minimal prompts, they can either be verbal or non-verbal. The verbal ones is when someone is talking to you and you're like, the verbal, yes, okay, I see. Those are the verbal minimal prompts. The non-verbal ones is when someone is talking to you and you nod. You are nodding. Someone is talking and you are nodding. And you're also saying yes. By the way, when someone is talking to you and you're using those minimal prompts, it encourages someone to talk. But when I'm talking to you, now to me, those minimal prompts, it will make me to switch off and I will block and I will not talk. Then we have the self-disclosure. I'll talk about self-disclosure. When we talk about self-disclosure, when a client comes to a session or that employee comes to you, there are some issues which they might be sharing, and you have also gone through a similar experience like that. Kindly mute. Kindly mute. So you find these clients, or maybe you find your client is going through a similar issue. Mute, mute me, mute all.
Unmute him.
Kindly mute the ones who are making noise.
It's Susan.
So self-disclosure, we say, okay, when a client comes to you and the issue they are sharing, you have also gone through a similar issue, you can share that experience with your client. As you are sharing that experience with your client, this issue which you also went through, it must be resolved. Kindly mute. Ulikuwa na co-host, can you mute? I'm trying to mute and it's not working. Okay, you disclose, you share to your client, but you're only disclosing issues which are resolved, which you have resolved, which that issue you have dealt with it. So it is like you're becoming a role model to your client. And remember, the issue you're going to self-disclose to your client, the client doesn't have an obligation to maintain confidentiality. So whatever you share, they can share it with someone else. And if it's not resolved, it will make you feel vulnerable. But if it's resolved and you hear that your client was talking about it, it will not affect you. So self-disclosure is whereby you share your personal experiences which are similar to what your client is going through. And here it is like you're telling your client, you remember we said we should not advise our clients, but here is kind of you're telling your client, this is what I went through, this is what I did, and you go and do the same. So that's when you're using the self-disclosure. But if your issue is not resolved, kindly don't disclose. Hata kama inakaa photocopy, don't use it because you'll feel vulnerable if the client talks about it. Don't give examples of other people. If you have not gone through a similar experience, your cousin, your brother, your sister, or whoever went through a similar one, don't bring that into a session. That is about the others. You're supposed to use the self experiences. Confrontation. Confrontation when clients come to a session, there are at times what we call some discrepancies. What they're saying, what they're doing, their actions is not matching. You find here someone is saying, I no longer want to work for that organization. I want to quit. And then unasikia, please sign for me alone. So what are you telling us? You are saying you want to quit this organization, you don't want to work with this employer, and at the same time you want to take a loan from this organization or from this circle where you are, and you want to leave it. Or a person comes to you, he's smiling, he's crying, it's the verbal and non-verbal is not matching. You need to confront those discrepancies. Their behaviors, their emotions, their actions, their thoughts, whatever is happening here, it's when you're confronting, you are challenging your client, and you don't challenge your client so much without supporting. When you're challenging, you support. When you're supporting, you challenge. Lastly, I'm going to look at immediacy. Immediacy is a skill. Like we say that in this session, when I'm with my client, we are supposed to have that conducive environment, a good relationship with my client. But there are some behaviors from a client which can make you not to continue in that session with your client. Maybe a client, you have put your seat in a way that you can solar, you can observe them. Then they have started pulling the seat to the other side, or stretching their feet towards you, or they have started stretching their hands and touching you. You cannot be able to sit in that session that way for 45 minutes to 1 hour. You need to address those issues immediately. Anything which is affecting your professional relationship with your client in that session, you need to address it. Whether it's the way they are behaving, the way they are conducting themselves, there was something which is going to affect that relationship, you need to look into it. That is briefly about the counseling skills. When you get the notes, maybe you'll be able to go deeper and you understand. Any question on the skills? And I say these skills, you as practitioners, whether at the workplace or your family level or whichever position you are, please possess them. Any question up to there? Let me see what is. I might not go through this exercise because of.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Okay, so you talked about something very interesting where yourself you're sharing your story of the same thing you've gone through. I don't know. I attended another counseling session where we were reminded that this is not about you, it's about them. Because if you share your experience and maybe what you did, it's assumed you're now going to advise, and yet counseling is the person is supposed to be able to find, or you're guiding them to find a solution for themselves that will work for them. So I don't know, what do you say about that? Because I think that was quite stressed before, that this is not about you. It shouldn't, you shouldn't do anything that directs things towards you. It's about the person you're counseling.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Like, remember, as I've said, this is something you are sharing with this, which is similar to what your client is going through. There's something you did which helped you to move on, and that issue is resolved. And remember here, you know the importance of using the self-disclosure. You are becoming a role model. You are giving hope to your client. It's like they are not the only ones. Okay, it's like you're giving them another alternative, but you're not telling them go and do the same. And this is why we are saying that when you're using the self-disclosure, you have to be very brief. It's not your session. Just say what the issue was, how you managed it, and how it has helped you to cope. It's not your session, but you have to be very brief. And that is why I told you, when you're using the self-disclosure skill, whatever experiences or whatever you are sharing, it has to be appropriate. It has to be relevant. Like now, if you're talking about losing a child of 15 years, and then I've also lost a grandmother of 100 years, do you think that is a personal development, like that is a self-disclosure experience I can share with my client? No. If I've never lost a child at that age, let me not talk about it. you talk about things which make a client to feel like she's not the only one or is not the only one. And if you do it well, a client can have hope. You use it, but you don't usikae ukipeana story ni kama it's your session. You have to be very brief. You use it, but
Okay.
I've warned you that the client doesn't have an obligation to maintain confidentiality. Yes, it's about the client, the others, but this one, it's like you're encouraging your client. You use it.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes. So I might not go through this shield. This is another personal development exercise. So maybe what we do when we talk about my shield, what's a shield? Is anything which is going to protect you, anything which is going to defend you. And we like looking at it when you as an individual look at we have so many achievements. Which is the greatest of all? What do you fear in your life? What is your ambition? Ambition is this, what is this you want to achieve? Who is the most important person in your life? Because we have people, yes, but whom do you value? Yeah. So again, what is your motto? A motto is a drive. What is this makes you to move on? So what we do, we usually draw a shield. This is my shield. And it has these 4 components. This is the achievement. This is the fear. This is the most important person. This is the whatever. So, and here you put your motto. But usually when we do it, you draw your achievement, you draw your ambition, you draw your fear, you draw the person you value in your life. But here you put the wordings. Why do we ask this? Like when you are sharing about this, at times you don't take things for granted. When I'm asking you who is your most important person, this is a person when you have challenges in your life, you can be able to talk to. This person is your support system. This person is the one who can give you that hope. This person is the one maybe who is causing you some psychological disturbance. And this most important person is that person you admire, who is your role model. So even when those employees come with their issues, and I don't know whom to talk to, like whom do you value in your life? Who is always there for you, in the sense that when you're not there, they can be able to talk to this person they value in their lives, especially when they're faced with those challenges. Then, when you're asking the clients to talk about their greatest fear, what they fear. Fear, at times, it blocks us to achieve our goals. And this fear, if you were to draw, just imagine you drawing what you fear heights, you fear darkness, you fear failure, all those ones. By the way, if you look at them so well, they could be unresolved issues which you went through when you were a child, from childhood experience or during adulthood experience. And this fear, if you have this fear, they can also cause you psychological disturbances. And this fear is the root cause. It has the root. When someone has a fear, ikona mahali imetoka. So, and this fear, it can also even motivate us to do something different, like some fear poverty, or some fear divorce, or some fear maybe losing someone they value so much. So what are you doing about it? It motivates you to work so hard so that you don't face your fear. You don't become poor. You don't fail. So we need to work towards this so that we can be able to overcome it. When we talk about ambition, ambition is that what you want to achieve in your life. What is this which you're working towards? So it's about our goals. Like after this training, what else do you want to do? Like we are just rushing. We're not even doing competently what we need to. So what is your future ambition? Where do you want to be with this counseling? What do you want to do differently? And when you have this ambition, it gives you a focus. It gives you a direction. It is something which is going to aspire you on what you're going to do. So ambitions, this is what we want to achieve, and we are working towards them so that we can be able to achieve those goals. Then we lastly talk about the achievements. Like when clients come to us, they're me, I don't see, I don't have hope, I'm not seeing what I'm doing. So you find their self-esteem is so low. But when you ask someone, what is your achievement? My achievement, I got a first boyfriend. Mwaliniongelesha kwa barabara. By the way, I felt good. Don't take it for granted. Or my greatest achievement is the job I have. My greatest achievement is my academic qualification. My greatest achievement, there's one who told me, my greatest achievement is divorcing the man I was living with. Imagine anasema it was her greatest achievement. Sahi ameenda mbali, she has excelled, she has moved on, and she feels so happy. So each one of us, we have our achievement. And this achievement, when you talk about them, by the way, they make you to have that self-appreciation. You have confidence in yourself. And it makes us to overcome those negative thought systems. I cannot make it, no one is there for me. It waters away our failures, by the way. So every person have a desire to achieve. You talk proudly. Mimi, you know, I'm an HR manager. You know, you feel good in this organization. Motto, this is a philosophy which gives us a framework within which we operate. This is where we say hard work pays, the sky is the limit, is like all those we put in the motto. By the way, if you look at what you put at your motto, it gives you a framework within which you work. God is everything. So when you hear this person talking, atakuwa tu anaenda around and anarudi kwa Mungu. We all those ones. And it gives us the focus, and we focus into our goals, and it is a driving force. So that is about the shield. This one I will not talk about it. That is a self-concept also. It's also another personal development exercise, but because of time, when we talk about the self-concept, we have some components. What is your self-image? What is your self-esteem? What is your ideal self? What is your body image? And how does all this affect the way we perceive ourselves? So with due respect, I'll skip that so that I move to something else. I wish we had time. We could have looked at it. Alafu mtu anakuambia, atafuta nani? Ni ule Flora mwenye kitumbo, ule mnono. And it affects you. That body image, it has a lot. So this is when you have healthy self-esteem. Someone says, able to say no when your self-esteem is high. Unaona vile anakaa juu, eh? Able to accept strengths and weaknesses, yes. Aha, wow, I never get that right, or I never got that right. So you feel well, but when someone's self-esteem is so low, this person, you mostly find that he has trouble even accepting the feedbacks he's being given. They believe that others are better than him or than you. He fears to fail. Yani hizo tu ndio zinatusumbua. So we need to have a balanced one. So I'll not talk about this, maybe next time when we have time. I want to look at let me see what to look at. Some common challenges, the challenges counselors face, especially when they are dealing with the client issues. There are so many, but I'll just mention a few because we said we finish at 12 and 12. That's why I'm rushing. You'll get to some of.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Why don't you then we say that this was section 1 of this training, and then we schedule section 2 instead of us rushing you to an extent that you're missing very key and important things.
Yes, especially when the self-concept is very critical, the one I've just skipped.
So me, I was thinking if we agree, then we schedule a session 2 to proceed from where we have left than rushing through.
Okay, that is his suggestion. What do the others say?
I concur.
It's in order.
It's in order, even for me.
It's in order, madam.
Okay. So I think there's a co-host here. Virginia?
Yes?
Is Virginia really with us?
Yes, I am here.
Madam is waiting for your response to what we have suggested.
Yeah, no, I support it. I'm in support of it.
I believe then as the ACHRP is able to give the breakdown of the courses he has put in the calendar. So if we are asking for a calendar for counseling session 2, I think he needs to be advised of the same, then he can arrange for that.
We will really appreciate, and it will also be done as soon as possible so that there's continuity.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dan.
Yeah, I hear I've heard the suggestions from the participants here and I concur that sometimes we at ACHRP, we pride ourselves with the real training. That's what we are after, to train, pass knowledge, for everyone to benefit. If we rush this training, because we can do that, we would feel that we've not filled the gap. We've not done justice to this particular training. So if it is agreeable with everyone who is present, we'll continue. We'll have another session whereby Flora will be able to complete this particular training. And as one participant has said, let's do it as soon as possible. My suggestion is it possible? Let's do it on Saturday. Saturday next week, I'll seek another one CPD for that particular training. I'll not raise the cost for the participants herein. You can actually make your payment as soon as now. 1,000 for essential counseling skills part 2 with the one CPD. So the total number of CPD for this particular training will be 2 CPD points. That is agreeable. I'll engage IHLM to approve CPD points for essential skills, essential counseling skills part 2. Maybe I can hear, we can get the response.
I think that is quite in order, and Saturday is okay.
Yeah, and the suggestion also to Mwalimu, the last few like 20 minutes umekimbia sana. So in session 2 uzirudishe hizo. Umekimbia sana.
I was looking at time, but I'm taking the feedback. Thank you.
Okay. And Mwalimu.
So how was the session?
For next
session
week,
was good.
I'm creating a group right now for the participants herein. I would want you to join that group so that particularly the members present for this particular session, we can be able to engage so that we don't lose any of you. We don't leave anyone behind regarding this particular training. Let me share the link in a few minutes, not in a few minutes, in a minute. This one,
Mi stima ilipotea kwangu. That's why I got disconnected.
This group is essential counseling skills. Or no, the group is counseling skills part 2. Counseling skills.
Okay, the feedback I've gotten nisikimbie sana. Thank you for that. So at least we'll be having enough time. What else? So the December is good when you are given feedbacks, eh?
Olimu will share the feedback with you.
After the second training, eh?
Me, I feel I'm ready to say, Mwalimu, I have enjoyed your class. Thank you very much. That was very engaging.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mwalimu.
So
thank you.
Don't leave
Thank
before.
you, very educative.
Don't check out before you've gotten the group link. It's there.
How are you sharing it, Mr. Denny?
I've shared it
It's
via
already.
chat.
Okay.
It's already there.
Kaidre, pick that link and join the group. I expect that all of us present will be available on Saturday so that we don't run a program. Sometimes IHLM is very expensive in approving these programs, but we'll always do what is needed for us to have what is for us to have meaningful sessions. I'll get an additional 1 CPD point for this particular training. Thank you very much.
Okay, then the link that is there, and if you're using a laptop and it doesn't have WhatsApp, I'm not sure how that will come. Maybe I'll just copy it. We can just advise.
Denny, maybe
You can share your number and the admin will add you.
I'll upload those notes in a few minutes.
Yeah, then so if you can just, because if you're using a laptop, that link asks you to download WhatsApp and you're not having WhatsApp on the laptop. Maybe you can just, we can just write you directly and say you add me, I was already in the counseling session. Is that okay?
Is it there?
Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, we can
I'm
hear
hearing
you.
you. I don't know whether. Then are you in? Yes, he's there.
Yeah,
okay, I was just asking Den if it's possible. Bona Den, is it possible? Yes. Because that WhatsApp link is if you are using, I guess, your phone. Unless I don't know how to do it. Maybe I just write you directly, then you can send me the link on my line so that I join the.
Yeah, with that also, let me share my contact so that for those who are not able to copy the link directly, they can chat me up on WhatsApp and I'll share the link.
Yeah. Oh, I have your number. I'll just chat you.
Just put the number on the chat for everybody.
There it is.
Thank you.
And this is very nice, engaging with you. Virginia Malete, see you on Monday.
Yes, I'll be there very ready and prepared.
Yes, for Certified Human Resource Manager, CHLM certification course at Sarova Woodlands, Nakuru. Jane Wanjohi, I would want you to be there. Agnes Kimotho, a long time.
Sasa unajua sisi hatukujangi huko out of town. Unajua tu. Hizo makosi za huko hatukujangi.
Hizo kwa mbali tumelemewa, si ni watu wa Nairobi.
Sisi ulemewa hata unajua hata by the time mimi ni mtu wa ukiniambia nikupatie 60k naona simiti na mabati na milango. Some of us are not paid for. Some of us then are not paid for by our organizations for these courses. So we self-invest. So when our organizations don't refund us and they don't give us back them, they don't support. So hii ni kujitolea. So ukiniambia 60k mimi ninaona mlango na simiti hapo.
And Joshua, where are you there? By the way, this is a random roll call. to see who logged in and took off. Jude Mudhoni, you're there?
Yes,
Then
I'm here.
sorry, I have to leave. Thank you so much. And Mwalimu Asante.
Thank you too.
I have
Thank
to
you
leave.
so much. Looking forward to meet you next week.
Bye.